inside Nationwide Arena here in Columbus. It's already filling up, and why wouldn't it when we have this matchup? Two Big Ten teams who know each other so well, Nebraska and Wisconsin, to play for the national championship tonight.
Wisconsin at 30-3, won their third straight Big Ten title, 17-3 record, defeated the #1 overall seed Louisville Cardinals in what will go down as a classic match. Retke and the rest of the Badgers survived 15-9 in the fifth, a tremendous season for the Louisville Cardinals. For Nebraska, 26-7, finished second in the Big Ten, 15-4, and the Big Ten has guaranteed itself a championship once again, and that'll be the 9th in the last 15 years. But we have to clarify, right? It's not just the Big Ten. It's your alma mater, Penn State, along with Nebraska, that have won all those championships over that period of time.
That's exactly right.
Wisconsin, as the higher seed, will be the home team wearing their white uniforms, which seems sort of out of place because this building is absolutely awash in red. Nebraska leads the all-time series 19-9, but the recent history is all in the column of the Badgers. Nebraska to serve first, best 3 out of 5 sets for the 2021 national champion. And speaking of the National Freshman of the Year, Lexi Rodriguez will get things started. Transition attacking, vitally important. Through the block, not yet. Julia Orzel out of Poland, digging in the deep middle. Boy, that is a really poor set in transition. Explain how important transition volleyball. We expect a lot of really long rallies will play a big part of who wins this.
Transition is huge for both teams. When they're digging the ball, and they have to get it going offensively off of the dig, and that's going to be big when you're playing at this level. The ball's generally off the net when you're on defense.
And analyzing the numbers from the 2 meetings this last regular season, one in Lincoln by Wisconsin, 3-0. One in Madison, also by Wisconsin, this time 3-1. In the transition attacking category, Lauren Barnes and Wisconsin certainly won that battle.
They did win it, and that's going to be big for them. They're going to have to do it again tonight in order to get the win.
Good pass off the top of the tape. And Krause, one of those freshmen, Lindsay Krause, who has been playing her best volleyball maybe of her life. 6'4" freshman out of Papillion, Nebraska. 9 of 19, only 2 errors in the 3-1 win over the Pitt Panthers. Keonale Akana, sophomore out of Hawaii, defensive specialist, on to serve. Every serve vitally important for Nebraska. Out of system to Loberg. Right side to Stivrins off the top of the block. Lauren Stivrins, the 6'4", 6th-year senior out of Scottsdale, Arizona, redshirted a year, played in the championship match. She's the only person in Columbus, Ohio, with a national championship, at least of this group, in her 6th year because of the COVID super senior year.
Nebraska going strong down the line right now at Wisconsin between that seam, Wilbert and Orzel.
First ace of the finals dialed up by Nebraska and Akana.
It's all part of that chess game you talked about, and really the serving strategy. Where are they going to attack the serve to really either disrupt the offense or even work and get an ace?
Another really tough serve, a bullet down the sideline. Kept alive by Orzel. On the slide again to Stivrins. Kubik off the top of the block and down. Number 10, Maddie Kubik, 6'3" junior out of West Des Moines, Iowa, first team All Big Ten and 3-time All-American. What a start for Nebraska.
Well, they come out hot, and Keonale Akana is one of their best servers, and having her back there right now to rattle off a few in a row is going to be big for them right now.
Akana, 41 aces on the year against only 37 errors. That's a really good ratio. But these are rockets. Free ball now coming to the Cornhuskers. Another free ball for Nebraska on the slide again. A net violation will nullify that good block touch and the dig in the backcourt by Kenzie Knuckles.
It's going to take a lot of patience on both sides. Who can stay patient and in that long rally? There's going to be a lot of long rallies with the defense that we have on the court tonight.
Coming in to serve for the first time, plays the back row in place of Smrek. Jade Demps, 6'2" sophomore out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Such an unusual offensive deployment. More on that in a moment. Demps hits only out of the back row. When I say only, that doesn't mean she doesn't hit a lot. She's a big weapon, number 15 in white, as this match goes along.
She's a huge weapon, and in certain rotations, she's going to get streaked a lot. Opening things up is Dana Recchi, and Jade Demps will come right down the middle with the pipe.
There is Cubic, 3 aces in the semifinal. Oh, that ball off. Did it get a touch? Yep, tough touch off the edge of the block by number 16, Dana Recchi, 5-time All-American. The asterisk button on everybody's computers is going to get completely worn out. 6'8" grad student out of Riverside, Illinois, and congratulations. Yesterday was named the National Player of the Year is Giorgia Civita, 5'6", graduate student out of Milan, Italy, defensive specialist, comes on to serve. Batenhorst again, tough swing, good cover by Rodriguez. Beautiful set to Orzel. Man, it's tough putting the ball on the floor. That's a bad set. Number 1, Nicklin Hames, the 5'10" senior out of Maryville, Tennessee, missed that one. There is Kelly Sheffield in his 9th year. 4th semifinal appearance, 3 straight Big Ten championships. Twice Big Ten Coach of the Year, and what a job he has done. Remember, they played Stanford in 2019, and John Cook, speaking of wonderful coaches, in his 22nd year, 4 times a national champ. And now Wisconsin trying to return the favor. John Cook in the Hall of Fame in 2017, 5th winningest coach in college volleyball history. And what a run Nebraska is on. They beat the number 2 seed Texas Longhorns in Austin, and then they took out the number 3 Pitt Panthers. On the slide, rejected. Wisconsin right back in it.
Well, Nebraska wants to get Stivrins the ball. They're setting her a ton early on here in the match. She's been very good throughout the tournament, but Orzel just hanging, waiting for that, was able to just throw that one back down into the floor.
Number 22 in white, Julia Orzel, 6-foot freshman out of Poland, was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and a very important piece for Wisconsin. Orzel. Combination play. There is Demps right on the sideline, and she beat Rodriguez.
Rodriguez is inside the court just a little bit. When you have that free ball, watch Dana Recchi make her move to the outside. That has to draw the left side blocker, and that's why Demps can come down the middle with only 1 block in front of her.
Are you surprised at these big runs? 2 very solid teams that don't usually do that.
The only reason I'm not surprised is they're 2 very good serving teams, and that's what's causing so much stress and pressure on each one, and that's getting them completely out of system.
As evidence, Nebraska started 5-1. Since then, Wisconsin 6-1 run until that ball was served out. And looking at Lauren Stivrins is Wisconsin for the first time from the service line, and she's been doing a really good job. Well handled. Perfect first contact. Nebraska fans behind us wanted a lift call. Good work by the second referee. Helping out and getting the job done. That was indeed called a lift.
Well, you mentioned Lauren Stivrins. We've seen her serve. Those watching may have seen her serve a little bit. Wisconsin has never seen her serve this season on the floor, and she has been another added tough serving weapon for Nebraska.
Demps again. What a pass by Orzel. That was really tough from 5 to 5.
Well, and she's on the ground. Recchi stays in front. Watch this play develop and look out of the back row. Demps comes in that C zone, and she's able to split the block.
There is Izzy Ashburn, 5'11" junior out of Dayton, Minnesota. 48 aces on the year, a school record for a single season. One of 6 players for Wisconsin to play in that 2019 championship. Confusion by Nebraska, don't get a swing. What a dig by Akana. Batenhorst with a rip. Her first kill, Allie Batenhorst, 6'4" freshman out of Houston, Texas.
It starts with that right back defense. Akana so good down the line, reacting to a ball that's hit off the edge of the block. And Batenhorst, we've seen her heat up before, and maybe this is going to be her night again.
What about the scouting and preparatory work by these teams and the coaching staffs? It's like everybody knows what's coming, and it's not the Houston Astros. Nobody's beating on a trash can. But the scouting, I mean, you look at Batenhorst's swing, the defense knows where it is. You look at Demps, the same is true on the other side of the net for Nebraska.
Well, that's what you do. When you play one another, you know tendencies, but then you scout. You have to continue to watch what they're going to do and expect and anticipate what the opposing coach is going to do.
Perfect pass by Rodriguez. Oh! Somebody call the maintenance crew.
Oh, man.
Kayla Caffey, the 6-foot senior out of Chicago, transfer from Missouri. Just detonating.
I love that set. They just hang it up for her, and she does what she wants with it.
One of the big questions in this match is how much will Wisconsin serve Lexi Rodriguez?
Well, it's interesting because she got served a lot in the semifinals, and you know, it was okay, but it showed a little bit of vulnerability. So we will see if that is something they tend to do.
Well, to give you an idea, in 4 sets at Texas, the Longhorns served her 8 times. In 4 sets on Thursday night, Pitt served Rodriguez 25 times.
It was really interesting because leading up to that Texas match, they were hitting 400 off of her when she passed. So avoiding her would seem to make sense.
Very easy serve, and Anna Schreck, 6'9" freshman out of Ontario, Canada. 20 of 27, 1 error, hit 704 in the semifinal win against Louisville. Started 17 of 20.
I mean, it was crazy. She played so well.
And wonderful setting, of course, once again by the All-American Sydney Hiller. And again, why not?
I mean, I would. And there's 2 blockers on her that time. They know this ball's passed just a little bit off the net. Cappy's coming around on that front push. Try to get some help, but she cuts it just inside the block.
Nebraska leading 12-10. They got out quickly, 5-1. Tight pass. That's going to be back row blocker. That's good play by Kubik.
Very good play. A reminder, if that ball crosses the plane at all, then Sydney Hilly may not go after it. She's going to be called for a back row blocker. That's an excellent call.
Yeah, easy play to call as well. That ball clearly had passed into the plane. There's the blocking that we featured working on Robinson. Kubik in trans. And Kubik skying for the tap down. Maddie Kubik, number 10 in red, is off to a really good start, as are the rest of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, looking for their 6th ever national title.
Well, that was the second swing that found some space between that block, but right now, Wisconsin moved their attackers to the right side. They tend to do this with Schreck and Robinson, change some things up here in this rotation.
Short serve, but well handled. Trouble for Wisconsin. Orzel. Nebraska down the line. Kubik again. Media timeout. The Cornhuskers on top 15-10. Back in Columbus, Ohio, hosting this championship for the 2nd time, the last in 2016. Nebraska on top 15-10, and right now out hitting Wisconsin 409 to 278. And both teams pretty clean, only 1 error between them. Nebraska just much better, the serve, defense, and blocking phase. And Kubik off to a hot start. Krause off the edge of the block and down.
Wisconsin moved their attackers, as we talked about. Now they're going back to the middle of the court. You can see them move over again because they're changing how they're serving based on where Schreck and Robinson are lined up on the court to try and jam up one of the attackers to slow them down.
Short serve, Orzel on that. What a good block touch out of the middle by Stivrins. Nebraska's got to get a swing on that. That was really an important block touch.
It was.
Kubik is roofed. Anna Spreck. We talked about Lindsay Krause, the 6'4" freshman out of Papillion. What a tournament she's had against Illinois, Texas, and Pittsburgh. Came in hitting .436. 200 points over her season average.
Well, when you watch her play, you would never know she's a freshman, not just by her hitting numbers, but her demeanor on the court. She's one of the toughest kids that I've seen play.
Running Stivrins in front.
I mean, there's going to be some room on the court to work what they said. We need to get Lauren Stivrins the ball more. It started at Texas where she wasn't getting a ton of sets in that match, and they have gotten her the ball just more and more as the tournament's gone on.
Stivrins missed the first 12 matches of this, her final year. We think it's her final year with back surgery, and then sprained her ankle before the trip to Texas. Akana is just a star at the service line right now. And in the setting role, Kubik going high flat, looking at the linesman and the first referee, Patty Rolfe, and missed it just out of bounds. Love that swing, though.
It's a nice high swing, and you talked about Akana at the service line. The last time they played each other, she had 5 of their 10 aces. I mean, she has been just lethal from the service line.
If you have Smrek and Redkey in front of you, just like Kubik did, you better change your trajectory a little.
Absolutely.
6'8", 6'9".
Head for the rafters.
Kubik again. Not a very good set in transition. Good hustle that time by Dimps, flying out of the back row. Frequent flyer, Miles. Kubik.
You got to give Knuckles so much credit for that entire rally. She had several digs in a row, and that last ball that may have fallen on the ground got it over the net.
18-12, first set lead for Nebraska. And while we have a timeout, let's send it down once again to Christine Williamson for a very special part of Wisconsin's team.
Yeah, we want to introduce you to 8-year-old Izzy Eaton, who a lot of the Wisconsin volleyball players call their little sister. Izzy and the team met about 2.5 years ago when they threw her a 6th birthday party through the Badgers Give Back program. She was born with something called intestinal dysmotility, which prevents her body from digesting food, so she wears a backpack that holds a bag and tubes that go in and out of her stomach, and she learned that it's okay to be different from the girls. Izzy's mother, Claire, actually said that their relationship has really given her a lot of confidence. She goes to a lot of their games, and Dana knew that she'd be coming this weekend, but she actually surprised the rest of the team with showing up to watch them try to win their first title. Here is Redkey on her relationship with Izzy.
She was really the first person that made me realize how much of an impact I have in the Madison community. I think going into college, everyone knows that you're a role model, and you talk about being a good role model and doing this to make sure that you are presented as such. But seeing the impact that I've personally had on Izzy and that the team as a whole has had on Izzy, it's been just given her so much confidence. I think she knows that she has some Badgers as her sisters, and she gets geeked out about it.
So this order, by the way, shouldn't shorten her life. So both the players and Izzy have made some lifelong friends, and hopefully she can bring them some luck this week.
Well, that's a wonderful story, and we wish Izzy Eaton the very, very best indeed. Back with Salima Rockwell. Nebraska out to the 6-point advantage. What's been the key to it?
The key has been some tough serving and their defense in transition. I mean, that has been the name of the game. Very, very solid in that phase.
Dana Redkey now 1 of 4, and a Smrek 1 of 4. A lot of really good block touches by Nebraska. There's another. Batenhorst, deep swing, and missed it just out of bounds, but you like that from the freshman. Trying to go deep into the cross-court corner, quality swing.
You've got the block in front of you, and that's what she's looking for. That's what you train.
Third hitting error so far for Nebraska, now hitting at 300, 13 of 30. Wisconsin only has 6 kills. Kubik is dropping dimes right now. What a block touch again. This time by Haynes. And right back at you by Wisconsin. Really good set in transition. And then the eagle from Poland, Orzel, is eagle in Polish, just flying high and unloading.
That's it. Got somebody off the head for sure. That thing took off into the crowd.
Her right wing is much stronger than her left. Polish fans here enjoying this. Chavita back to serve, the transfer from Wichita State. 4th torn ACL earlier this year. Nice play by Stivrins. How good is Maddie Kubik in the receiving phase right now?
Just so focused, dialed in, and that's, again, we talked about the serve of Wisconsin and how tough it can be, especially Chavita driving that ball deep on her, but she's handling it.
Stivrins now 3 of 8. Kubik leading the way, 5 kills, taking a lot of swings, 13. Stivrins out of the back row. Nice stab by Demps. Batenhorst off the edge. Look at this Nebraska team block the ball. Can they convert? Lauren Barnes pitching and catching. Kubik was there. Give the kill to the 3-time All-American and 3-time Big Ten Setter of the Year, Sydney Hilly.
Got to change it up. There are so many deflections right now on the side of Nebraska, just slowing the ball down, and Hilly knows it. I got to do something a little bit different to catch them off balance.
Good rotation that was for Wisconsin. Chavita served 7 times, scored 5 points. Here's Izzy Ashburn, another perfect pass. Maybe a little bit tight. Batenhorst is blocked.
Deb Robinson, so quick to the pins, getting solid position with that ball off the net. Robinson taking care of it.
Really good response by Wisconsin. The number 4 overall seed, 1916. After it was a 15-10 advantage for John Cook and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Wanted to slow things down. Timeout. We'll take you into the huddles in just a moment, but want to remind you the FCS Football National Championship game is Saturday, January 8th at noon Eastern Time on ESPN2 between North Dakota State and Montana State. For more information on the FCS Football Championship, log on to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Take us over to Nebraska. They had the 15-10 lead. Looked like they were going to be comfortable, but Wisconsin's not going anywhere.
And that's the thing. This is that what we talk about when you're making in-match adjustments, and Wisconsin right now doing a nice job steadying out a little bit from the from reception and passing the ball a little bit better, so they're able to get the ball on the floor, but really their serving game has picked up as well. So both teams still in good position. They just went on a little bit of a run, and Nebraska has to steady out here, talk about what's going to happen in service and see if they can get things going.
When Nebraska got out to their seemingly comfortable lead at 15-10, they were 10 of 22. Since that time, they've gone 4 of 17 with 4 hitting errors. So Wisconsin doing a very nice job in turning the tables. Look, they're not just an offensive team, if you will. Their offense is really unique and incredibly strong. But Wisconsin spends a little time on blocking defense as well.
They absolutely do. They're slowing the ball down and forcing their hitters to either hit out of bounds or get blocked right now.
Batenhorst starting out just 2 of 10. Shank pass.
We saw it kind of getting a little bit of trouble before in service. She can handle the ball really well, but Izzy Ashburn, one of the best servers on that Wisconsin team.
Wisconsin now on a 5-1 run. Chavita did a very good job, now followed up by Ashburn. Tough swing for Batenhorst, well off the net. Perfect dig to Caffey. What an incredibly important play. Quality dig and ball control.
That dig off of a rip from Demps out of the back row. Perfect to Haynes. Doesn't have to move. Gets a blocker to jump. One-on-one for Caffey. Here's another look at it. Absolutely perfect.
And what a good, smart choice by Nicklin Hames. First ever freshman to start at Nebraska at the setting position. Orzel off the edge of the block. Let's go back down to Christine.
Yeah, Kayla Caffey is actually who John Cook says is their most improved player. She's been a substitute teacher actually during the season at a middle school. And she calls the classroom her comfort zone, but it's looking like the volleyball court is also one of her comfort zones.
She's been teaching a lot of opponents, Christine, throughout the course of this season. The 6-foot senior out of Chicago. Hitting .369, was 10 of 22 with 4 blocks on Thursday night in Nebraska's semifinal win. 21-18, opening set, best 3 out of 5 for the national championship. It has been Nebraska in the lead from the opening serve. Wisconsin has never led in this opening set. Orzel high off the block on the sideline. Wow, that was really close. I thought that ball was going to drift out of bounds, but a fortuitous bounce that time for Krause in Nebraska.
And this ball driving it deep into the cross court, forces Hilly on her knees to set the ball. She has to recover, get up, and try to cover it, and that's tough to do.
Quality swing. Sometimes the defense is just better. And maybe even more fortunate. That was a really good high swing by the freshman, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, and Nebraska blocked that ball, and it was definitely in the court. So far, the blocking story, Wisconsin leading in that category.
And it's not just the blocks that are on the stat sheet, it's the controlled blocks, the block touches as well, slowing things down. When you look at the side out numbers, right now Wisconsin only at 50% side out and Nebraska at 61.
Man, both teams, yes, but Nebraska just absolutely superb in that phase.
Well, that's the difference. We were talking with Coach Sheffield, watching their practice. They wanted to hit a little bit down the line on the outside, see if they could work some edges. But really, Nebraska has been doing an excellent job getting all the way out there, slowing it down, and you'll watch middle back shade just a little bit to dig those balls deep into the court as well. Defense really locked in.
So far on the evening, you see 184 as compared to the Big Ten leading 296. And then even more so, Nebraska with 15 kills to only 9 for Wisconsin as Kenzie Knuckles will go back. And she is the Jade Demps, if you will, an available attacker out of the back row. She's capable.
She's capable, and they like to set her.
22-18. Got the ball on Smrek and missed out of bounds. Missed long by Robinson.
That short serve forces Anna Smrek to play it. Passes it a little bit off the net, and it's just not a perfect rhythm set in the middle of the court. They're really just trying to jam up what the two of those players do right now.
And doing it effectively. Smrek and Retke are just 2 of 11 combined. Back to Robinson off the top of the tape and down. Caffey was there. Rodriguez was hoping on her heels a little bit for a change. Doesn't happen often.
Well, mixed it up a little bit. Sometimes Robinson has some trouble getting all the way around on that slide and that rotation. Just let her hit the one ball and Smrek behind.
Oh, a big service error. Just when Wisconsin was starting to creep up and put some pressure on Nebraska, Sydney Hilly missed one and then followed up by Orzel. And now back where we started, Lexi Rodriguez, who started this national championship match serving, will go to the line. Nebraska with 5 set points. Tough chance. Very tough chance against 6'9" Anna Smrek.
There is nowhere to go. The ball's all the way out to the antenna, and Smrek just completely surrounds it.
That was not a well set ball. There was absolutely nowhere to go. Set point number 2. Excellent save by Kubik. They called a double contact on Lindsay Krause.
Well, Sivrins was trying to really be perfect and set that ball all the way back to her teammate. You could see her face as soon as it got away from her.
Set point number 3. Ball set very tight again. I would not be surprised. Yeah, here comes John Cook. That's a couple of misplayed balls. That pass was pretty darn good. And once again, Maddie Kubik had nowhere to go. So 3 set points saved. Nebraska timeout.
They're working this line again to force this ball forward and off the net. That's exactly what Wisconsin wanted to do, and get Hames on the run, get their double block out there on Kubik, but that ball was set a little too tight for her to do anything with.
Yeah. Nicklin Hames is on the run, but you got to keep that ball inside the sideline and about 3 or 4 feet off the net, unless you want to face the tallest block in the world of women's women's volleyball, not just college.
Right.
What's going on now on the Nebraska side?
Well, I mean, it's just slowing things down right now. He knows if they can pass the ball, they're going to be completely fine. So they have to be able to handle this ball a little bit more, just up and down. That's the conversation you have. You don't want the ball spraying in one direction or another. That's when the setter can't set whatever she wants. So if they can pass the ball, even if it's off the net a little bit, Hames can still run her offense.
Yeah, it looked like Nebraska, the way they were having it their way after a couple of service errors by Wisconsin, was going to close out this opening set comfortably. Wisconsin had other ideas. Once again, Wisconsin won both regular season meetings. They have won 7 in a row over Nebraska and 9 of the last 11. That is a lot of history on their side and builds a lot of confidence.
It absolutely does. And these teams, you're seeing them just not back down. Just when you think a set is over. We've seen this all year long with so much experience, so many veterans on all of these teams coming back. They're calm under pressure, and they can make runs even late in games.
Retke in the middle, Smrek blocking the right side, Loberg blocking the left. Set point number 4. Stivrins unloading. I thought that's what was going to happen on the perfect pass, mind you.
Absolutely.
First strike to Nebraska. What's the next move for Wisconsin? The 5-time champions, the Cornhuskers of Nebraska, take the opening set off the number 4 seed and fellow member, of course, of the Big Ten Conference, 25-22. Back with Selima Rockwell. I'm Paul Sunderland. Biggest difference when you look at the stats, the hitting efficiency is very, very close as it ended up. But after that, 16-10 in terms of kills. Look at all these block touches.
Well, that was the difference. They were able to slow Wisconsin down. Started with the serve, so they were able to get their block in place. But these quality block touches have led to points. They may not be great in serve receive right now. Their side-out game not at the highest percentage, but the transition game has been huge for Nebraska, and it all starts with those block touches.
And defensively, Nebraska, probably the best digging team in the country. Keona Leakana with 7 digs, Hames with 5. Look at that, 24 digs against 17. And all those block deflections, when they go to the player in the backcourt, that counts as a dig. But the block has had a lot to do with it. Batenhorst, roof straight down. Excuse me, that was Krause in rotation number 1.
That was Krause, but this was a tough serve that hit the tape, and then you have an out-of-system set coming at you. Now, Krause's really good on the left side, especially when that's in system. The out-of-system ball is a little bit more trouble for her on the left.
Off speed, Rodriguez again. A tough serve, but this young lady out of the Chicago area, actually a couple miles away, wearing the Libero jersey for Nebraska, just an amazing receiver.
Just hangs onto the ball very long, has an excellent touch on the ball, and can pass perfectly for Nebraska.
See if Wisconsin stays on her. Here's Kenzie Knuckles. Mentioned that Pittsburgh served her 25 times. Does not happen very often. Out of the back row. Nice dig by Barnes, the libero on the other side for Wisconsin. Better set to Kubik. That's all the difference in the world. Nice dish that time by Haynes.
Absolutely. She's got her feet there, and you see her turn immediately out of bounds to hit the ball off the block. That's with intention. A nice swing by Kubik.
Kubik now with half a dozen kills, taking 16 swings. Kayla Caffey's been really efficient, 4 out of 5. Another good set in transition, looking to go high hands, off the block and out of bounds. Linesman didn't get it, but Patty Rolfe, the first referee, one of the best in the business, got the micro touch. the first micro of the night.
Oh, Paul, there it is. That's not micro, that's something else. But that was a good touch.
Then how come the linesman didn't see it?
It's far away. I mean, that's a long way to
I hope it's
look.
not too far away. We're going to have a lot of those throughout the course of the night. Nebraska taking the opening set 25-22, got out to a 15-10 lead. Then Wisconsin hung in there. It took Nebraska 4 chances. Loberg missing the first contact. Kayla Caffey. What a rocket of an arm.
Man, what a play. Here's the ball coming back. Of course, starts with the serve again. We're just going to keep saying it, but she sees that block so well. Big block right in front of her. Drops that thumb down. Look at that turn to hit it inside the block.
Nebraska started the match on a 5-1 run, now starting the second set on a 4-1 run. Oh! Look out below. What a stuff.
Well, Loberg was on her knee, had to get up and hit that ball, and she wanted to go for it, trying to hit it off some hands as hard as she could. But, man, that block was right there.
Transition swings are very tough to put the ball away on both sides. How important for these teams, both of them, to get the ball to the middle when they can in trans.
Well, it's critical. I mean, they have to get the ball in the middle. And that play, they pulled Loberg up. She shifted up, and you saw Eula Orzel moved over to the side to handle that pass. So Wisconsin making a little bit of an adjustment there, getting their passers in a better position just to disrupt what's going on the other side of the net.
And a Smrek number 14 in white, the freshman, 6'9" freshman out of Canada with her second kill on 5 swings after a huge night. Once again, Kayla Caffey, but this is all about good reception.
It's good reception, and even when it's a little bit off the net, they have such a nice connection. She is hitting .857 right now, and watch this ball. It's the flight of the ball that does it. Even if Haynes is at 6-7 feet off the net, she can get that ball to Caffey.
Really nice move by Caffey, getting into the gap away from Retke. Demps unloading on Rodriguez. A real weapon is number 15 in white for Wisconsin.
And if Wisconsin can pass, that's the pressure we're talking about, getting that ball, moving it around, getting Demps involved in the offense. You cannot focus on all their attackers. She's going to have one-on-one all night.
Haynes down with the first contact. Krause. What a nice swing off the edge of the block by the freshman.
And look at her face when she's done hitting. Hits this ball off the edge of the block. It falls inside just a little bit, but this is a veteran swing. Seeing it not going straight ahead towards the angle of approach, she looks right at that block and hits it off the edge. She
and Batenhorst, one of the biggest reasons, or two of the biggest reasons why Nebraska was able to advance over the second seed from Texas. They hit .519 combined. Back row again, Kenzie Knuckles looking for some hands, and that ball will be ruled out of bounds, and we might have our first challenge. Tyler Hildebrand, the associate head coach, back with Nebraska for his second stint, certainly thought that there was a touch on the back row attack. And John Cook, who makes the decision, I think concurs.
I didn't see it on the initial play. We'll see. We'll take a look at it. Knuckles going high for those hands. I think they had 3 blockers up on her because the ball was off the net. And we'll see if she caught any hands.
3 challenges in the match. Touch on the block is certainly one of the areas that can be challenged. Net violation, ball in or out. The official can look at all of those components. They're bundled together here, and then foot fault on the 3-meter line and foot fault on the service line. I think they're looking. Is that Hilly on the outside?
Hilly. That's Hilly's right hand. See if you can see the right hand of Sydney Hilly. Zooming in a little closer to see if we can see it. I don't see any fingers move. I think that ring finger, it may have hit that ring finger, but.
Well, the Nebraska fans behind us are going, that's an obvious touch. And the Wisconsin folks over here going, ball's out of bounds. What are you looking at?
I mean, it's so close. And
So again, 3 challenges unless we go to a 5th set, and then each team gets an additional challenge. Second referee is Sergio Gonzalez, and he is looking at the video evidence.
You can even see right there in your screen how he's rewinding it, going in slow motion, trying to really get a good look at this to make sure he's getting it right.
The ball was called out of bounds. Nebraska took the opening set. They led throughout. They got out to a 5-1 run. Media timeout 15-10. The decision has been made. And no touch. It'll be Wisconsin. Point and possession. And now 7-4. And Nebraska has 2 challenges remaining unless we go 5.
I just didn't think there was enough there to really overturn that.
I agree. I did not see anything that looked absolutely concrete video evidence to overturn the out call. Here is Ashburn, again a record setter from the service line in terms of aces. Jay Demps, one-handed bandit in the back row. And then finally Orzel finding a seam between the 2 defenders, Akana along with Knuckles.
Well, they've been so good on that right side of the court. They want to hit this ball down the line. They know where they need to go with it. There's that stab by Demps. Over the top of the block and right in that seam. Look at Demps again, keeping that ball alive.
Demps has made a couple of plays. I'm looking down at my charts. I'm going, how many digs per set does Demps average? Don't know. Didn't write it down.
Better start writing, Paul.
That's my mistake. All credit to her. She's made a couple of really nice plays.
Well, and Coach Sheffield has said she's not just in there for offense. She's a very good defender, so we can keep her in there. She can play some defense and generate some points.
Nebraska is winning the service battle right now. I'll give you the numbers in a second. Perfect tight pass. Kubik out of the back row.
Another transition play, and Maddie Kubik takes a little bit off of that. You see her just a roll shot in front of the defenders. They're super deep. They're expecting that hard hit.
Is this more balls out of the back row in transition than you've seen from Nebraska on the year?
I would say that's a fair statement right now. They're in a position they know if they can't generate things on the left, they have to get that going out of the back row. Kubik has been good. She's been confident, and if Batenhorst can't do it out of system, you might as well run the back row attack.
Batenhorst trying it finally down the line, missed it out of bounds. And to your point, Nebraska has dug 31 balls to 20 for Wisconsin. It's going to be a double contact called on the All-American. Lauren Barnes, if you hit the ball cleanly inside the block into area 5, she's digging it 99 times out of 100 unless it's super heat.
She is one of the toughest defenders and reads so well, trains very, very hard at her craft.
And to call her the Energizer Bunny would be an insult. That doesn't nearly explain it. Ball served just out of bounds by Stivrins, and with the air, Wisconsin now trailing 10-7. Wisconsin still trailing in the kills category. Remember, they had the best overall offense in the Big Ten Conference. Nebraska with 23 kills to only 13 for the Badgers. Tough serve down the line. Batenhorst got a piece.
It started with that shot right into Rodriguez's lap by Loberg. Dug perfectly in another transition play by Nebraska.
Were you surprised by that choice from Hilly? He had Smrek on the right side and Devin Robinson on a very, very good pass in the middle, and she decided to go to Loberg against a good block.
I don't know if she thought the middle was going to hold a little bit because it was such a good pass, and she went out there and they didn't.
Both teams. Oh, what a block again. Kayla Caffey is having a night so far for Nebraska.
Really doing it from the offensive and defensive ends of the game. Look at this read, takes a little shuffle step over in front of Robinson and gets a
timeout called. Nebraska leading by 5 in the second set. A capacity crowd here at Nationwide Arena, Columbus, Ohio. The NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Buick. The number 10 seed Nebraska Cornhuskers taking on the number 4 seed Wisconsin Badgers. I spoke with John Cook and I'd asked him if he'd ever been seeded as low as number 10 during his 22 years. He said, I don't think so. I do not think so. They're looking to become just the second double-digit seed to win a national championship. The other, the Stanford Cardinal back in 2004. What a dig by Kubik. And you can't find it. Maddie Kubik, like Kayla Caffey, is having a magnificent night in all phases.
Well, laid out for this. You see where she is in middle back. This goes out of the outside of the block, and she just lays out for it. An excellent defensive move by Maddie Kubik.
Been served 5 times, holding up. She's also dug 10 balls. Smrek might expect a lot of that. Both teams really dialed in serve reception.
Can they get her going? I mean, that is going to be key for them. Got to get some offense out of Smrek, out of Robinson, get those two the ball, but the passing has to hold up.
What a pass. Ball served right down the sideline. Krause looking for some hands and missed it wide. Talk to us about the Wisconsin offense and how it developed after the unfortunate ACL injury to Danielle Harp, who was in the starting lineup as a middle blocker, and the development with Sprek and Jade Demps and how very, very explosive it's become.
Well, it's been one of those unique things where they had to make some movement. Robinson was in the opposite position. And then they had to move her to the middle and line up Smrek in the opposite. So they can do some things uniquely, but once Smrek comes out of the front row, Jade Demps comes in for her, and they still have offense coming out of the back row. So they kind of piece together this offensive monster out of the front row and back row in that position.
Oh, look out. Loberg said, "You're not going to dig everything, are you?"
Well, she's going to turn it up. Grace Loberg has the ability to do it. We've seen it earlier this year in other matches. Here's that perfect pass with Barnes going hard into the cross court. Now really unloading on the ball, not just grooving it into the lap.
Not a lot of top spin on that one. It ate up Rodriguez. Let's go down to the sideline and Christine.
Really cool story about something that came full circle for the current team physician for Nebraska volleyball, Dr. Janet Cruz. She actually played volleyball at Nebraska from 1988 to 1991. She's a 3-time All-American, 3-time academic All-American, and was a part of Nebraska's national runner-up team in 1989. In 1990, her assistant coach was one John Cook. So Coach Cook actually mentioned her in his weekly press conference on November 1st when she was hired. He said, "When I was an assistant here in 1990, there was a player, Janet Cruz. I always asked her what she wanted to do, and she'd say she wanted to be a doctor. Well, today was her first day as our team doctor for female student athletes, an epic day for Nebraska athletics."
Thank you, Christine. Nebraska leading at 13-11 and on a really good run playing. You've watched Nebraska. You've covered the Big Ten an awful lot. Were they a team that really had to sort some things out during the middle of the season?
You want to talk sort things out. They really were having some trouble figuring out who was going to play on the left side, steadying out their offense. There was a lot of things missing Stivrins. So for a stretch there, you know, it wasn't great. And you can ask them, you can ask John Cook, but this team has trended up. This really is one of the steepest climbs that I've seen of any team that was left in the tournament throughout the rest of the season. So playing at their best right now.
As are the seniors, even if you're in your 6th year, Stivrins and Caffey. To finish that thought, Utah at Nebraska wins 3-2. And then at Stanford, Nebraska loses 3-1. And then Louisville, really starting to make waves and headlines, came into the Devaney Center and took out Nebraska. And all of that, all of those, were before Lauren Stivrins was healthy enough to get back in the lineup. But John Cook told me that the best team that he faced all season long were the Louisville Cardinals.
Yeah. So Wisconsin moving Anna Schreck all the way over, getting her on the right side of the court to have more offensive options.
Good set in transition. Kubik, nowhere to go. You can't swing low.
That's trouble. A ball coming from over your shoulder, behind your head, into 6'8" and 6'9" is going to be a tall task. Maddie Kubik tries to go for it, but it's a little too low into that block. That is a big old block.
Dimps misses that just out of bounds. Good communication between Kubik and Rodriguez that time. Over the sideline, making it 15-12.
Few service errors for Wisconsin. They're at 6 now.
2 aces, 6 errors. Nebraska much cleaner. 1 ace, 2 errors. Good reaction by Krause. Kubik looking for some hands. That's another transition opportunity, and John Cook just slapped the heck out of his clipboard.
Well, she was trying to hit flat, and you see Recky get that right hand almost over Sydney Hilly to reach and get this block herself. Kubik wanted to turn it down the line, but she hit it right into Recky's right hand.
These are transition opportunities where Nebraska, at least for the moment, is not getting the same quality swings they got in the first set. Kubik, brilliant swing. Aiming for the penthouse.
That's it, and when it's a little bit off the net, she can do that. That's the trouble. When it's a little bit tight with Recky up there, it's very difficult. Smart swing.
Kubik now 9 of 22, 6 errors in her column, but I can remember 3, if not 4, of those that were clearly not her fault. Poorly set on the outside. Here is Akana. Nebraska outdigging Wisconsin now 35-22. 36-22. A break that time for Wisconsin.
Very smart play by Orgel, tipping that one just over top of the block, getting everyone on Nebraska on the floor. That was a missed opportunity by Nebraska with, I believe it was Akana, trying to set the ball and free-balling it over the net.
Yulia Orzel, with all of her international experience, she played on a very good under-19 World Championship team for Poland. Service ace. But to the point, she's taken 13 swings, a lot of them very difficult chances. Only 1 error. She does not give up points.
Right. She may not be generating a ton, but isn't losing points for her. And that's her development of her game that Coach Sheffield has said she's gotten so much smarter and better with the ball, especially out of system.
Wisconsin back within 1. Orzel is rejected by Stivrins.
And that whole play developed. That free ball comes in. Robinson's hitting a 1. Watch all 3 blockers come in. Kubik is in the middle of the court. That frees up Stivrins to take a nice little shuffle move to be able to close the block to the pin.
Perfect example of remembering the game plan and not getting caught up in the moment. Good work by Kubik. A rare service ace for Nebraska. Service error, excuse me. Wisconsin, after that service miscue with Hilly back at the line, on a 9-3 run. And net violation. A little bit of an unfortunate play out of the middle that time for Devin Robinson on the joust and then just lost her balance.
Yeah, that was tough. And Stivrins flexing some muscles up there at the net.
Well, we mentioned it on Thursday night. Stivrins, the back surgery, John Cook telling us that she doesn't have the base that she would ordinarily have, and then tweaked her left ankle, which is the ankle that she jumps off on the slide.
Yep.
But in Thursday night, she just seemed to be bouncier.
Looked different. She looks different tonight as well. Just really looks healthy, fresh, and ready to play.
Stivrins 5 kills on 13 swings, 1 block. Back-to-back service errors. Fine line. Got to serve tough.
And it's really tough when you get in these late stretches of the game in the high teens, low 20s. Those missed serves are so critical.
Very easy serve. Caffey. Yep, you serve that easy, you're going to get beaten down.
That's what's going to happen. Orzel trying to go straight down the line and do something, but it really, she just took a lot off of it. And this is a perfect play to Kale Caffey.
Caffey 7 of 10, hitting 600, 3 blocks. Schmreck out of the middle. That was a good reaction by Krause. I think Nebraska, tough chance, but they got to rally to that ball.
Absolutely, but Schmreck getting that swing out of the middle, trying to get some offense going. We talked about this before. A perfect pass. Lober taking some of these now with her hands, trying to just shove the ball right into the setter.
Caffey again, working deeply on Orzel. What a dig by Hames. Right back at you by Barnes. Caffey, absolutely. Barnes again with a dig, but out of reach.
The defense, we knew the defense would be good. It started here. Barnes taking care of that ball. And here's the other one, trying to get underneath it, but there's so much heat coming from Caffey's arm right now.
Caffey had 10 kills on Thursday night in the semi. She already has 8 at 2018 in the second. Out of system again, block touch. Brilliant swing by number 21, Grace Loberg. Brilliant swing.
Well, and she has been, they are serving her a ton and really trying to work her, make her work hard. And to be able to do this, to be resilient and to keep things going and hit a shot like that, I mean, that's a big play by Grace Loberg.
Loberg's numbers, taking 15 swings, only her 3rd kill. A lot of block touches. Krause working the edge, but not to effect. That ball nicely done off the block and down, also by Loberg.
Loberg a little bit better over there with that left hand down the line. Turning it in, you can tell she's got a little fire in her face right now.
Red zone, Wisconsin, Nebraska. What would you expect?
Right.
Orzel, perfect dig. And tucked inside by Retke. What a dig by the freshman out of Poland.
In the right position, reading it so well, shaded a little bit down the line. Orzel with the dig, Retke with the kill. Wisconsin up by 1.
Back with Salima Rockwell, I'm Paul Sunderland. Wisconsin has not found themselves in front in this match very often. This is only the second time, and the other was 1-0 to begin this second set.
But this is the push that Wisconsin needed. They're starting to play just a little bit better. Their block is in place. Loberg trying to find something at the net. Got a little bit from Schmreck. Just a little bit from everyone right now. That's what's making it closer.
Look for Caffey on the good pass. There's the good pass. There's Caffey. What a combination right now between Hames and Caffey. Let's go down to the sideline.
That's actually the exact ball that they talked about during the timeout. They said when you're in the middle and they get a perfect pass, make sure you're pressing in the cross to try to block that ball. And of course, Caffey was able to get that kill.
Thank you, Christine. And Wisconsin's got to serve much tougher when Caffey's in the front court.
Yeah, they were trying to just keep that ball in play, maybe serve it short.
Demps out of the back row. Wonderful delivery and design that time by Sydney Hilly in Wisconsin.
I like that run. Going forward, running a little bit forward, but still Demps on that first step. They're able to run the bick and get a point.
Demps is 4 of 8. All of her swings coming out of the back row. Smrek is 3 of 8. So they're 7 of 16 no errors if you combine them, if you homogenize them, if you will. Chavita, good touch. That ball was up for a moment. Barnes was there, but a really good reach into the cross court by Stivrins.
Orzel trying to take something off of it. She knew maybe she tried to recycle it into the block and just didn't have enough pace on it to make that happen.
I agree with you, Selena. That was a smart shot. Sometimes the block is just better, and Stivrins was then. Tied at 22. Akana's been serving BBs. Here's another. Shade. Demps. Wow, what a clutch swing.
I mean, that is huge for them. The tough serve gets them completely out of system. Watch this ball. Hilly. Oh, man. That is a quality set off of a bad pass.
Dana Retke. Very unusual that she would stay in and serve. She's got a good one at 6'8", sometimes down into the court. High flat again, Maddie Kubik. Really good swing off the left.
Just perfecting that swing. I mean, she knows what's in front of her. She knows exactly what she wants to do with the ball.
Tied at 23. Robinson up front along with Hilly. Orzel on the left side. Got to watch out for Demps. Remember, Kubik had 3 aces on Thursday night. Good cover by Barnes, and out of bounds. Wisconsin wants a touch.
Robinson definitely wants a touch as she turned to throw that to block it out of bounds. She feels like the block may have also touched the ball. I'm not sure if she felt the hands hit. Sometimes that happens.
Kelly Sheffield. If this is close at 24-23.
And the hands did hit. That's exactly what I thought happened. I think this ball may not have touched her, but we will take another look.
We're going to have a challenge. Wisconsin is going to challenge that there was a touch off the block of Nebraska.
And that's a tough one. This is exactly what I thought may have happened. When you feel the other blocker's hands, you kind of think that maybe the ball touches it. But that's just you guys touching each other.
This one should not take very long. The call was no touch. Nebraska right now with its first set point. How good has Akana been in serve? Man, pressure every time she goes back.
So tough.
41 aces on the year, but she is getting Wisconsin out of system time and time again. Kubik leading the way with 10 kills. Paul stands as we thought it would. Kayla Caffey, 9 of 13. Lauren Stivrins having a nice night. Krause there as well. Krause struggling so far. She has been really good throughout the tournament. Set point number 1.
We'll keep an eye on Robinson and where she goes, and that'll determine where Demps goes out of the back row. So we'll watch those two in this rotation.
First set point, Nebraska looking for a 2-0 lead, and Kubik missed it.
We always say this, sometimes the challenge doesn't go your way, but it can cool off a server and give you an advantage.
Demps is staying in the front court, long set. Maybe Wisconsin served out of bounds, maybe out of substitutions.
And that may have been what happened when Retke went back to serve. That's what I was thinking.
Now, look who's at the line. Lauren Stivrins. She's been really good throughout the tournament, and kind of a new weapon for the Cornhuskers. Does not serve all that often. Timeout called. It's a smart timeout.
Well, I believe I need to look at the serve receive pattern again, but.
What's your thought, Salima?
Well, I thought Chavita might be stuck right now, but I might be wrong.
Talk to us about the number of substitutions and what happens towards the end of a very long, well-played set when you run out.
Well, and the thing is that Wisconsin, they sub their opposite. They have DS subs in there, and that's what happens. There's 15 subs allowed per set, and when you get late into sets, you could run out. Again, that's what we talked about, and it's not an issue having depths in the front row. Of course, she can play in the front row, very good, but sometimes it gets to the point where there's a DS up there.
15 subs is a lot. It's hard to imagine you run out, but it does happen at times. Internationally, you're only allowed 6 substitutions. But to your point about Demps, before this Smrek-Demps combo sort of developed under head coach Kelly Sheffield, Jay Demps played in the front court an awful lot.
Right, absolutely.
Set point number 2, Nebraska leading 25-24, won the opening set 25-22. Where do you think Stivrins goes with his serve?
They're fine. I think she goes deep into the 5, maybe, or straight down the line at Orgeau. I mean, that's going to be the key. She's good going across the court, so maybe they let her hit her money serve.
Looking at Chavita, the defensive specialist in area 5, and that's where she's going. Batenhorst for the set. No, not yet. Blocked by Orgeau.
So they did not run out of subs. Loberg's coming in the game. This is where I thought it was going to get tricky. Here's the play, the pickup and the block in place. A big block by Orgeau on the right.
2 set points saved. Here is Orgeau. Right side, Jade Demps going high hands.
So we talked about maybe they ran out of subs. No, maybe she was just really good out of the back row, and they wanted to keep her in and get her as many swings as possible.
Demps now 6 of 10, no errors.
They haven't been able to get Smrek the ball. You might as well leave Demps in there to hit.
Set point now for Wisconsin. Ball was just out of bounds. The ball was called out of bounds.
I thought it hit her on the way out, but I'm not sure. And this is really, really tough.
Watch the subs for Wisconsin. Oh, the ball is clearly out.
But I thought it hit her on the way out of bounds off of the block, perhaps. We'll take a look at it. Maybe we won't.
Kelly Sheffield going over and visiting with his captain and going to question Patty Rolfe, the first referee.
And she's saying exactly what I thought I saw. The ball was blocked.
Well, you know, this is really smart. Yeah. It's a little massage of the rules and regulations. Coach Sheffield wanting this discussion. He doesn't want to burn another challenge.
Right.
Figure you're going to be here for a long time.
And I think
that's good communication.
Yeah. They thought that he called it, and that's why they had him run over there. And he came over and said he did not see a touch off of Kathy, off of that block. So I believe he's going to challenge.
You're going to have a challenge.
I think this is good. That's what I thought I saw.
Agree.
I thought. So we'll see.
Well, I don't agree that it touched Kayla Caffey on the way out of bounds. I don't know yet.
I think it did. So she tucks that arm in, so.
Big call, you think? Well, this is also the second challenge utilized by Wisconsin, and it's only the second set.
I think it misses her.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think that's good work by the officials, also good work by the coaches.
Man.
Getting some more time to talk about it and think about it.
And it's really hard from that angle. When you're on the bench on the other side, this ball, as she tucks her shoulder, looks like it may have hit her on the way out, but I don't think it did.
If the call stands, it's tied at 26. Nebraska has had 2 set points. Wisconsin has had 1. Kayla Caffey is having a night, 10 of 14. Both teams have really come back to earth in terms of hitting percentage, but you would expect that. So well coached, so talented, know all of the tendencies.
Yeah.
We talked about the chess match.
Right.
I mean, this is like check every time when you're trying to put the ball away.
It's so difficult because you're seeing, you know what's coming in each rotation. You make some guesses, you make some moves.
The call will stand. Wisconsin has 1 challenge remaining. Unless we go 5 sets, Nebraska with 2.
Demps has had the hot hand, so we'll look to see if they shade or cheat to her a little bit on a good pass.
Robinson. What a first ball contact under pressure.
Oh, man.
What a pass.
A perfect pass. And Robinson, who only has 3 kills, 3 errors.
Set point again now for Wisconsin. Kayla Caffey again. Big time by both middles.
Man, Caffey just going over top of the block right now. She can do no wrong.
And Nicklin Hames has found the hot hand. I mean, they've been working together for a while, right? But this is a really big moment. Here's Kenzie Knuckles, tied at 27. Ace serve.
They're going to go hard in that corner again. We'll see if Orgel squeezes Loberg a little bit. But they leave her there and serve receive.
That was a perfect serve into the seam. Got it. Clutch pass, clutch kill by Loberg.
Man, that is a tough move. And that perfect pass got the block to jump with Dana Recchi and gave Loberg her one-on-one chance. There it is right there, and hits it dead into the corner.
Loberg again carrying a hot hand, goes off speed. Hilly with the first contact. Touch off the top of the block, and a perfect transition set by Nicklin Hames.
Very nice play, but that defensive effort to start the rally. Hames flying in for that tip right over top of the block. Saved it all.
Hames now with 13 digs. Set point number 4. Tipped down over the top of the block. Looked like Kubik almost pulled her hands down there for a second.
I wasn't sure. She thought she was going to, I mean, she saw her tipping, so maybe she thought she was going to hit it off of her hands, like you said. Yeah, just kind of dropped him.
That's tough on the defense.
Yeah, that's very difficult to play around it.
Good pass by Stivrins. Maybe Stivrins in front, or Krause. Stivrins in front. Blocked by Retke.
That ball got a little bit too low for Stivrins. And when you've got Ricky in front of you, got to get all the way on it, but a nice move into that angle by Ricky.
Third set point for Wisconsin. Blocked again. Back to back by the player of the year, and we're tied at a set apiece.
Ricky made this move twice. She stays in the middle of the court and then dives completely into that angle to get the block.
Let's go over to Christine Williamson along with Nebraska head coach John Cook.
Yeah, Coach, you said it earlier this season that Kayla Caffey was your most improved player this season. She's 11 to 15, only 1 error. She has 3 blocks for you guys. How impressed have you been with her play so far?
Well, we need a few more players to step up like that, but yeah, she's really helped carrying us right now, so it's good to see. She's not only killing balls, but she blocks some balls too.
So you guys took the first set, obviously just lost that last one. What do you guys need to improve upon in order to get 2 more?
Well, we missed 3 serves in the net, so that killed us, and 2 were back-to-back. I mean, we had our chances to, run them out of there, and we got soft serving, so they took advantage of it.
All right, good luck the rest of the match.
Thanks.
Thank you, Christine. Tied at 1 set apiece. In that second set, there was a combination in total of 7 set points. Wisconsin and Nebraska at a set apiece. Courtney and Jen on the other side. We talked about the chess match as well. Punch, move, counter punch. What do you do next? And let's start over and play 2 out of 3 for the national championship. Wisconsin at 30-3 on the year, 17-3. First place again in the Big Ten Conference. Nebraska 26-7, a number 10 seed, 15-4 for second place in the Big Ten. These teams played twice in the regular season, both matches won by Wisconsin. And Wisconsin, to extend things back through a few years, Wisconsin has won 7 in a row and 9 of 11 from the Nebraska Cornhuskers. You're looking at the stats, Salima. What jumps out at you? The excellence, of course, of Kayla Caffey, but who needs to do more for each team?
Well, and that's what Coach Cook said. We need more people around her to get something done. They hit 0 in that last set, and Wisconsin ended up hitting 237. So having some trouble finding the floor. It was just everything shifted in Wisconsin's way towards the end of that set. So got to get the serve going, keep it going, and keep your focus towards the end of the set.
Here we go. Sold out Nationwide Arena, 41st NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship. Anna Smrek back in the lineup. Good hustle by Hames. Off the edge. Anna Smrek, who is an absolute star on Thursday night, off to a slow start here, and I thought a really good coaching move, leading Jade Demps on the floor.
Excellent coaching move, because they couldn't really get Smrek the ball anyway, so she was trying to get something going offensively, and with Demps doing so well out of the back row, might as well leave her in, and she's been great in the front row as well.
Very easy serve. Right side to Krause. That ball is absolutely ripped. Just underway here in the third. Moments ago, Christine caught up with Wisconsin head coach Kelly Sheffield.
All right, we're here with Coach Kelly Sheffield. Coach, you guys obviously took that last set, but you don't have any players with more than 6 kills on the mound. How do you get your offense going?
That's a question against these guys, right? I mean, offensively we were better in the second set than we were in the first. We brought their hitting percentage down a little bit. I think nerves, we came out, we were nervous. I mean, you could just tell we weren't putting in great serves, and we passed 3 balls that were going out of bounds. I think we've settled in a little bit, and then Renke made 2 big-time plays at the end of there.
One player that has been an X factor for Nebraska is Kayla Caffey in the middle. How do you slow down her?
Serve better.
Get them out of system.
Get the setter on the run.
Yeah, exactly. Good luck the rest of the match.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christine. Kelly Sheffield in his 9th year, back in the championship match. These 2 teams playing for the title for the second time also did so back in 2000. That was in John Cook's first year in Lincoln, Nebraska, and it was the Cornhuskers coming out on top 3-2. Man, the wheels are turning, and players performing at a very high level. Baton-Horst, tough swing in transition. That ball was good down the line, but it was long. So that is the correct call. And number 14 in red for Nebraska, Allie Baton-Horst, the 6'4" freshman. Most recruiting services had her as the #1 prospect in the country. #1 recruiting class for Nebraska once again. There is Ashburn, serving specialist, already has an ace and close to an, oh, she's got another. Second ace so far for Ashburn on the night.
What makes Ashburn's serve so difficult, look how close it comes to the top of the tape. It drives and then it drops right in front, just like a knuckleball, drops right in front of the passer, and it's very difficult to track.
Block, cover, kept alive by Akana. Nicklin Hames is playing some defense.
She's an excellent defender.
Chance for Nebraska to dig themselves out of a hole. They've been behind that entire point.
Well, and that's a really good point that you made. They're struggling. Wisconsin coming at them over and over again. Look at this move by Akana. That ball should be out of bounds and done. And the transition, as we talked about, out of the back row, giving Kubik a little more looks again tonight in transition.
Orzel with a tough swing, out of system down the line. Perfect dig again. Kayla Caffey, magnificent block touch by number 3 in red. Baton-Horst is really struggling to get the ball on the floor.
Working hard.
Kayla Caffey again.
And that's something that I noticed in the middle of the rally, a couple of rallies ago as well. The ball that Demps is getting now out of the back row, there's more than one blocker. They're doing a better job. They had 3 twice already on her and in front of her, and now they've got 2 blockers in front of her.
4th block that time by Caffey to go along with 11 kills on 15 swings. Good set to Baton-Horst, throwing it up into the block and kept off the floor again by Hames. Missed out of bounds. The hustle for Nebraska is really paying dividends.
So many little plays by Nicklin Hames. She's underneath everything right now. This ball is covered and saved, kept alive, otherwise should have been down right underneath the block. Orzel going hard for the hands and miss.
Stivrins, pretty nice little serving run, but missed that one. The worst serve to miss is
into the net.
Into the net.
There's no chance anyone can get in the way of it, or you can hit someone on the way out the door. And that's what he said. That's what Coach Cook said. We missed 3 serves into the net. He was not happy about that.
Akana has been superb. Better block this time. The block was just better. Timing between Caffey and Hames was solid.
Orzel making this move. Watch her dive into this. The swing block stops short just a little bit, sees as the ball falls inside. That's an excellent block move and a nice read by Julia Orzel.
Look at this number. This is what keeping Wisconsin in this match. 15 blocks to 6 for Nebraska. That's a really good swing. Boy, did Allie Baton-Horst need that. You look at the numbers and remember that former All-American Lexi Sun is over on the sideline for Nebraska. Yep. And I asked Coach John Cook today at their serve and pass when Baton-Horst was struggling in the semifinals, did you think about going to Sun? And he said we were 1 play away. And then Baton-Horst came through with a couple of kills.
Well, and she can do that. She's been working hard, though, getting a ton of sets, tough sets on the outside.
Smrek crossbody. Baton-Horst right now, 5 kills on 25 swings, 5 errors. Ace serve.
Big one straight down the line, right at Kubik, who's been handling the ball fairly well, but you see Caffey try to scoot out of the way, and sometimes at the last minute, you lose sight of the ball.
And that ball drifts out of bounds. But in terms of serving strategy, you have to trust it and keep going to the same target, same seams.
You have to, and there's a reason they're doing it. Either this player passes this ball this way, or they set a certain player off of this pass. So the reason they serve certain zones are absolutely scripted out.
Some support along the sideline. Assistant coach Kelly Hunter, wonderful setter, a national champion for Nebraska, along with Coach Cook. Oh, yes. Bump me a one. And how did Lauren Barnes, how was she ready for that? Caffey again. Wow.
That was all
big time.
Just nuts. Watch the bump one here, which is incredible. And then Barnes with a little kick save and a butte in the left back. Getting it back to Caffey. That's hard 2 times in a row.
This is a hockey arena after all.
And she was a hockey player after all.
Oh, beautiful save. I think there was a net violation anyway on Caffey, but what a set that time by Sydney Hilly. Let's go over to the sideline once again, and Christine.
If you guys get a chance, I want you to pay attention to the energy on both of these sidelines. Volleyball is a game of momentum that thrives on that energy, and right now Wisconsin is super high energy. Nebraska seems to be a little flatter, so that's definitely something to pay attention to.
Caffey, a rare miss out of bounds. Ball set just a little bit off target.
That's a really good observation. Now look at the benches. I mean, Wisconsin very, very loose right now. The bench doing all kinds of crazy things.
Lauren Barnes once again, 13 digs. Nebraska right there as well. Caffey trying to tuck and gets that ball to the floor. Difficult chance and made it pay. Caffey now with 13 kills.
Well, Wisconsin making some block adjustments, getting in that angle that Caffey likes to hit, but just couldn't get over the net fast enough, and Caffey finding that room.
Rodriguez can't quite keep that ball in play.
Sometimes they run this fast and high, but sometimes she just needs to go up and over the block. When the ball's off the net a little bit, that's the connection that she has with Sydney Hilly. Laying it up there, block wasn't even a factor.
Demps back on. Grace Loberg, the numbers are not spectacular, but boy, is she playing a really good all-around game. Some difficult swings, and she is passing the ball very well.
She has been targeted tons, struggled at times, and really, it's a lot on one person, but you can see what she's doing at the net to make a difference.
12-9 advantage. Combination play, Kubik off the top, perfect dig by Orzel into the antenna. A rare miss that time by Retke. If you look at the passing numbers on the season, and it's not a small sample size, you are your numbers.
Right.
Nebraska passes perfect or good at 56% of the time.
Right.
Wisconsin, 46% of the time. That's quite a bit of separation.
It is a difference, and Nebraska would know. They have a solid back row. Well, they say at times, and right now is one of those times where they really have 3 liberos on the court with Akana, Knuckles, and Rodriguez.
Akana's been the best server in the match so far. Right side again, missed out of bounds, no touch.
An error, 2 errors now that gave Nebraska these points, right? Wisconsin playing with some energy. Defense is really good. You can see it's picked up a ton. They just have to finish those plays.
55 digs for Nebraska, 39 for Wisconsin. But it's all about transition. A dig is not a point.
Nope.
Good pass. That was really a tough serve. Kubik is roofed. Block was just better.
Well, she was going after it again. You could see it. We could see it from our angle, trying to hit flat. And the block very disciplined, not reaching at all. Very strong across the net. There's another look at it. Not high and getting tooled over and getting the block.
16 stuff blocks now for Dana Retke in Wisconsin. That is a huge number. Almost another. Looking high flat and a touch. Really nice play by number 10. Whoa, wait a minute.
Oh boy. The call is.
Patty Rolfe called the ball out of bounds.
They want the touch. Maddie Kubik is saying yes.
Well, Nicklin Hames is coming over. The linesperson called a touch. It was right in front of the first referee. And so now you're going to be forced to use a challenge.
Yep, and she's keeping control of this, telling them that she made the call. Certainly an overrule.
We had it previously where Kelly Sheffield requested that the linesman go over and visit with the first referee. Might this not have been an opportunity for Coach Cook to go over and say, talk to the linesperson. What did you, what are you sure that you saw in order? There's a touch.
There's a touch.
Yeah, in order for there to be an overrule.
Right. Well, had the same opportunity, especially since she did it once, and you can see that finger move back here. So that should be a fairly quick one, seeing the touch.
Each team will have one challenge remaining after this decision, irrespective.
And of course, if we go 5, they get another one.
Kentucky, the champions last year, 2018, 2019, Stanford, Nebraska, 2015, 2017. And the touch is confirmed, but you lose it. You use a challenge, and yeah, that one is taken off of your docket.
So I don't know if Coach Cook is going to have some conversations and just not be. He's okay. Thumbs up. There you go.
That's high praise for Coach Cook.
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening, what was about to happen.
Well, but again, the linesperson correctly called a touch.
Right.
First referee, one of the best in the business, Patty Rolfe. We talked about she and Susana Rodriguez of Spain being the first women to officiate a gold medal match. That was the final in Rio. 13-12. Here's Kubik.
She'll go straight down the line at Chivita. That's the second time after a challenge that she has.
Good call, Salima. That's exactly right. You got to take a deep breath, take some time, and you cannot miss into the net. Ashburn already with a couple of aces. Stivrins. Big time on the slide.
Well, and this is something that Hames doesn't do very often when she's pulled forward and off the net. Fling it back and really take some chances, getting it all the way back there to Stivrins. But that is perfect set. Stivrins crushes that one.
But don't you like that matchup? 6'4" Stivrins working on the 6-footer, the freshman Orzel.
Absolutely.
Demps out of the back row.
Jade Demps continues her run, attacking out of the back row for the Wisconsin Badgers.
Boy, these kids are playing well at a very high level and playing really hard. Caffey is blocked.
That is not an easy play to make. Again, setting the long ball, going against the flow is Hames. I like the set, I like the choice, but a better block, an excellent block by Orzel.
17 blocks now by Wisconsin. That's got to be in record territory. Let's go over to the sideline and Christine.
Yeah, during that last timeout, head coach John Cook looked at his team and he said, serving the ball like that is not going to get it done. You've got to make it float, make them make a decision, do better, we can do better, we can do this. So definitely trying to serve a lot tougher.
Thank you, Christine. Great point, because very early on, Nickel and Hames and Nebraska were 2 aces, 1 error, etc. And now it's 2 aces, 8 errors, 5 aces, 10 errors for Wisconsin. If you do the plus minus, that phase of the game is very, very close. 17-14 lead in the third. Orzel's been very good in backcourt defense.
Really has. She's in the right positions directly behind the block.
Tough chance for Krause. Did she get a piece? Maybe a net violation. Yeah, that's a break for Nebraska.
It was definitely moving. No argument on the side of Wisconsin. Krause went to tool off of the hand, missed it completely. Would have otherwise been Wisconsin's ball, and you see the net right there.
Block touch again. How this match started and then missed out of bounds by Krause.
And Orzel's been holding up down the line, passing out of zone 1, really passing the ball with a nice flight. They're still able to run their offense right now. And even if they're not getting kills, hitting the ball at Hames is forcing Nebraska out with a lot of out-of-system sets.
Yeah, we don't have the numbers right now for good or perfect. I just have the impression that over the last hour or so, Wisconsin has been better in serve receive. Nice bounce back that time for Lindsey Krause.
That's that rhythm set to Krause, who can get it done on the right. We'll take a look at this pass. Knuckles passing this ball straight ahead. And they need to get some production over there from her.
Krause now with 7 kills on 22 swings, but 6 errors. What a save. Sydney Hilly, the graduate student in her 5th year, 3-time setter of the year in the Big Ten.
She's had a couple of these, and I'm glad we're slowing that one down. That is a pretty set.
Retke will take care of that.
And that was just a short serve. That wasn't kind of a mid-zone, really taking a little bit off of it, getting Nebraska on that overpass.
Timeout called by Nebraska. Wisconsin on top 20-16 here in the third. Nebraska came out firing, took the opening set 25-21 after they led 15-10. And then in a marathon, both teams with lots of chances in the red zone. Wisconsin takes it in overtime 31-29. And now Wisconsin, the number 4 seed on top of the 10th seed from Nebraska, 20-16. What do you see? Let's go over to Christine while we have a moment.
So Smrek and Retke just got the last 2 points for Wisconsin. The two have a lot in common. They're both believed to be the tallest players in college volleyball this season, and they both also have a background in dance. They each did tap, ballet, hip hop, jazz, and lyrical dance. I talked to them earlier today and asked exactly how they felt like it helped them in volleyball, and they said just understanding how their bodies move and bodily awareness and flexibility, even though they both can no longer do the splits.
Are we sure?
They said they haven't been practicing it anymore, so they can no longer do it.
Yeah, that's probably safe not to do it. But it makes a huge difference. We talked about that a couple of years ago with Dana Retke and how much that helped her movement, her foot speed, and her grace around the net. I mean, you talk about players that are 6'8" and 6'9". You would never know it unless you looked at the roster, because they move so well along the net.
Yeah, they are special players at that kind of size, because they can attack both with good arm swings. They can get off the net from defense to offense. Kubik and Caffey combined 26 of the 44 kills. That's not the kind of balance and production out of the other 3 attacking positions that Nebraska fans need.
It's going to be a big thing to see if they can get the pass going a little bit more, get Stivens the ball.
Good play out of the middle. Lots of space there. Ball set well off the net.
Lauren Stivrins can do it in front and behind, and that's what we talked about. Want to get it going a little bit more.
Stivrins now 7 of 20, a low number for a middle because of those 4 errors. Right server at the line. Wow. Barnes dug that successfully. Demps is going to get a swing, goes off speed. What a good touch by Orzel. Good block deflection, but a perfect pass. Right on target.
Well, Wisconsin in a better position now, reading the offense of Nebraska, getting their block there as they have been, but defensively doing a nice job and transitioning a lot better in the last set and a half.
Wisconsin hitting 188. What a battle against Nebraska, 141. 17 blocks.
That's crazy.
Scoring blocks for Wisconsin. It is crazy. Orzel one-on-one, goes off speed. Nice kill down the line. Good set by Hames.
Got the block to jump. Kubik going down the line. Finds it. That's a nice swing.
14 kills on 38 swings. Boy, the left side, you talk about Batenhorst, and then you could add into that Krause as well. They're taking a lot of difficult swings in transition. Long rallies.
Well, and you talk about the defense, 62 digs. That's what's going to get you all of those swings on the left.
Wow. Good set to the outside. Yeah. No touch. Working inside of Stivrins, and Orzel missed it. Good eye by Rodriguez. Boy, does she know her way around the backcourt.
Sees it. She was lined up right inside the block.
The National Defensive Player of the Year, first team All-American, first team All-Big Ten.
I thought it was touched.
So did I.
Hand of Stivrins.
So did I.
So, and again, a difficult position to be in. Yeah, there it is.
Well, nobody was complaining, and with only one challenge remaining.
Well, that's the tough part. You got a lot of match to go, and you get one back in the 5th, but to have none going into it is tough.
And Wisconsin with the lead, 21-19.
Yeah.
Albeit not particularly comfortable lead. There you see in the left-hand side in the black sweatsuit, Danielle Harp, the 6'4" senior out of Virginia Beach. Unfortunately tore her ACL. She was a starting middle blocker, and she's coming back for her last year next season. And she was away from the team when she had surgery, but the team really wanted her around. They wanted her in the locker room to be a part of this. Really a huge component, not only on the court, but off the court as well. And we wish her well in her recovery to get back on the floor for Wisconsin next season.
Well, Paul, that is such a great point. I mean, they asked to have her around. They asked to have her travel. It was different without her there. I talked to her earlier today in practice. You know, how you doing? She's like, I'm doing all right. She's excited for the team. She's like, it's just weird. It's weird to watch, but she's excited for the team and really doing everything she can from the sidelines to keep them going.
Christine, you've got more on Danielle.
Yeah, Dana actually told me at practice today that pretty much every time she comes off the court, she goes over to Danielle while she's drinking water and just asks her what she sees, because she's able to see a lot of things that Retke can't see in the game. So it's definitely helped Dana out throughout the season.
Here is Kubik. She's missed a couple in the net. That one was pretty flat. And could not be kept alive by Batenhorst.
Just throwing that high ball up there to Dana Retke on the right side. Getting it off the block.
Retke is so versatile. She can hit in front fast. She can hit behind fast.
Yep.
She can hit in between. She just runs great patterns. The Jerry Rice of college volleyball.
Love it.
Stivrins, nice play. Quickly off of Devin Robinson.
Gets off the floor, nice. Robinson's there, has to make a decision. She kind of goes straight ahead, take one angle or another, gets a little bit of a touch, but can't slow down Stivrins.
Interesting. Jade Demps with 8 kills leading the way. Smrek was 7, Retke was 6. Grace Loberg with 5. Lots of balance, but nobody anywhere near double figures. Well, I guess 8's pretty close. Off the top of the block. Nice recovery there by Devin Robinson, the 6'2 sophomore out of Iowa.
That's a big play. At this point in the match, a ball that's passed low and flat. And Hilly has to just do something with it, lay it up there. Man, that's a big, big point.
Wisconsin and Hilly 2 points away. That's a much needed swing by number 14. Nicely done.
Allie Baton-Norris has the ability to do it when she has some room, has some time, and not set after set after set within a rally. She can really find a rhythm and hit a good shot.
The 2 freshmen are 13 of 48 with 11 errors. Shank pass. Nebraska fans wanted a double. Caffey, no, that ball was set a little low. Right side to Krause.
The free ball comes over the net. There's too many attackers right now for Nebraska to really be able to scheme, make a decision, have to hold with Caffey. Krause one-on-one.
Yeah, I thought so. Both teams had a timeout remaining in Wisconsin. Kelly Sheffield is going to use his last timeout. Wonderful crowd here on hand. It's been a magnificent tournament and also a wonderful weekend. Louisville, the match on Thursday night between Louisville and Wisconsin. Pretty classic, wonderful contest. And then the Pitt Panthers, 2 teams out of the ACC, 2 teams out of the Big Ten. And now the Big Ten, obviously, with Wisconsin, Nebraska playing for this championship, guaranteed of yet another title. A little bit of interesting note. This is the first final since 2016 not to include a top 3 seed.
Yeah, that's an interesting fact. I mean, Nebraska has that 10 seed, but they've played so well in the second half of the season, and that's why they're there.
A real chess match going on here in Columbus.
It's so fun to watch, and then watch the adjustments, the in-match adjustments, as each team makes their push, and then how do they scheme, and really it's the block scheme and the defense around it. That's the difference. Serving has been tough, pulling each team off the net right now, but it's all about the defensive transition game.
17 blocks. We've mentioned that repeatedly for Wisconsin. We're closing in on the 3rd set. That's rounding it out about 6%, which is just completely off the charts. 6 blocks for Nebraska, but they lead significantly with 18 more digs. Here's Hames. Nebraska trailing by 1. Demps out of bounds.
That's an unfortunate miss. They had a big shift in the passing as soon as the ball was tossed, and that's why Chavita got in there right in the middle of the court. We'll see if they do that again.
Wisconsin out of timeouts, each team with 1 challenge. Oh, that ball tipped down out of the middle. Robinson. Short serve. John Cook unhappy about something. I don't think he liked the serving call.
Well, that was a big play. Again, the shift in the passing is what did it. Orgel was just up there waiting for it because the passer split the court. Chavita and Barnes ended up splitting the whole court.
Set point number 1. Into the middle. Robinson from Hilly, and Wisconsin takes the 2-1 lead.
Dig from Barnes is what did it. Slowed down by the middle of the court by Robinson. And the Badgers take a 2-1 lead.
The number 4 seeded Wisconsin Badgers on top of the 10 seed from Nebraska. 2-1, 31-29, 25-23. A very happy gentleman indeed, and very proud of his athletes and what the Big Ten has done in women's college volleyball. Kevin Warren, the commissioner of the Big Ten, we've just been informed that this is a new attendance record for the championship, 18,755.
That is incredible. Just looking up from our seats all the way up to the top. We're hoping people would stay, hoping people showed up, and man, did they show up.
Salima, adjustments, reaction, where does Nebraska go from here? Because if I'm over there, I'm going, wait a minute, the Cornhuskers have missed some golden opportunities, not only in the previous set, but also in the second, as Coach Cook talked about.
Well, that's the key. They have to be tough towards the end and not miss serves into the net, get their offense going a little bit better. Some things going on the right side, of course. Krause's been good. That's been big for them. But if they can get some production, because they're not getting the production from one of the left sides right now, they need to move it around.
The level has been very high. Defensively, blocking schemes. That's why it's so darn difficult to put the ball on the floor. Right side to Smrek, and blocked by Nebraska.
And Lawrence Stivrins in a strong position on that block move.
A lot of wonderful players. It's their last match for their respective schools. The list is longer on the side of Wisconsin. Christine talked about right before first serve, all the freshmen, 3 of them starting for Nebraska. Oh, Stivrins was right there. Boy, it helps to be 6'9".
That's a tough play. A short serve goes right to Smrek. The last time they served her short, she passed it kind of behind her, and they couldn't get the offense going. Really steadying out there was Anna Smrek.
Spectacular in the match against Louisville. 20 of 27, started out 17 of 20 with no errors. Back to Stivrins, you bet.
We talked about Knuckles enough. She has been solid for Nebraska, passing the ball defensively, scooping everything up in the middle of rallies. Look at Knuckles right now.
Yeah, if we look, finally, we'll get the numbers on the reception for both of these fine teams, and I think they're going to be awfully close. Serving has been at a high level too. Kenzie Knuckles with a very good read, just out of reach. And let's go to Christine for more on Knuckles.
Last season, Kenzie was a libero, and a lot of players may struggle with being beat out, but Kenzie said she looked at the bigger picture and actually found it's been better for her. Now that she's playing 3 rotations, it allows her to come out of the game and really analyze what's going on a lot differently than she was last season.
Also getting to take some swings out of the back court, which is kind of fun as well. Barnes, spectacular dig chance for Smrek. What else have you got? I guess you got that. Another stuff. Working against 6'8" and 6'9". That's stuff block number 18.
Man, Nebraska working so hard, getting some quality touches and digs on Smrek, but that block is there again.
Maddie Kubik getting some attention along the sideline.
I don't know if there's there blood on the floor, or she just hurt her hand. She might be, yeah.
She's fine. Easily remedied. Tied at 3. Once again, Wisconsin, the number 4 seed, leading Nebraska, the number 10 seed, 25-23. Nebraska on their way to this championship. Beat Texas, the number 2 seed, and the Pitt Panthers, the number 3 seed. Kenzie Knuckles, perfect pass, good block touch. Knuckles out of the back row.
That's the offense that we were talking about. Having her in there as a DS allows her to run in transition, be an offensive threat, finds the space right between the block.
Should Nebraska be using that much more in terms of transition? Killing the ball on the left side right now has been really tough for the Cornhuskers.
The only reason I would say no is that's a really low percentage on the year for them. That's why I would say no.
Kubik, good. Oh, look out.
Wow. Oh, boy.
What an effort defensively, not only by Kubik, but also Akana. Good to see both of them are okay.
Yeah, Akana dives kind of over Kubik and hits the edge of the floor right in her stomach.
68 digs for Nebraska right now. They were the top digging team among the Power 5 conferences at just about 17%, but they're not that terminal. They're giving up 15 digs on the other side.
But that's the kind of effort you expect to see in a national championship match.
Lauren Barnes is everywhere. Back row again. Barnes again. Out of bounds. Just missed by Loberg.
Wow. Lauren Barnes in that left back, controlling it. That play I thought was going to be called something, but nothing was called. Barnes again handling the ball, but Nebraska comes up with it on an error from Loberg in that cross court.
Yeah, nothing was called. Hilly in the front court. Here's Stivrins. And another serve into the net. It's not like it's all night long, but it just feels like it's amplified, missing all of them, not all of them, many of them in the same fashion.
No, you're absolutely right, and it is. And those, especially momentum plays like that, big plays where you're working really hard, and then you win the point and miss the serve.
Must-win set situation for Nebraska. Nebraska wants a net violation. That ball dug. I'm not sure what Patty Rolfe has called. She is pointing in the direction of Nebraska, and it will be their ball, their point, and the 6-5 advantage for the Cornhuskers. Yeah, there's a little bit of confusion going on. And remember, well, one challenge remaining. Hilly's in the front court, so I was surprised when something was called because she can legally go up and attack that ball.
Yeah.
Mystery.
Indeed.
Good thing it happened at 5-all. Tough serve. Caffey tapping straight down. That's the first win at the service line for Nebraska in a while.
A lot tougher serving. Happened on the first one where they got a little bit close to the net. Hilly had to save it. This one she couldn't quite save.
John Cook over on the sideline behind his board, signaling where he wants Hames to serve. Working out pretty well.
He's going hard right now at Chavita in that zone 1 area of the court. Again, a very good passer, but these are the adjustments and the numbers we don't see during the course of the match.
That ball tucked inside out of the backcourt again. A clutch pass by Chavita. Very common for the coaches to signal from the sideline.
Very common. They do it all the time. It's just a reminder. Generally, you know, but sometimes things change over the course of the match and what they're seeing on the bench. So they want to work a certain zone, and they give that information to the server.
Wisconsin's 18 blocks are one shy of a season high. That was against Ohio State. Oh, there's another. They're not one shy anymore. 19th stuffed block, and Retke has a season high 11.
The eye work of Deb Robinson takes a step, knows where Caffey is. She's not coming in for that one. Shuffles over and gets right in front of Caffey. Those are the adjustments that we're talking about throughout the course of the match.
Caffey now 14 on 25. Ace serve.
That's a big one. That's Ashburn going into that seam.
Third ace on the championship. Make it the fourth ace for Izzy Ashburn. Now with 51. When she came into the match, she had 47. That was a record too.
You got those two passers. There's a passing with two right there. It was a good look from the end zone.
Really good swing by Batenhorst and much needed for Nebraska.
That's a big side out for them right now. Give them a little bit of momentum and energy.
There is Knuckles, 7 digs on the night, a kill and an ace as well. And another.
That one was flying high. Looked like it may be going out. And it sits right on the end line. Everyone gets out of the way of it. Oh, that's a great serve.
That's just too good. Nice read that time by Hilly. All set up by a perfect reception.
I was wondering when she was going to throw one down. She doesn't do it very often, but it's always at the right time.
Krause is blocked. That's number 20.
Orgel and Robinson getting in good position, but reading this play. Watch the play as Hames makes the set. Both blockers getting there, but really it's Orgel setting it up perfectly.
Orgel's doing a nice job as a 6-foot outside blocker. Putting up pretty good numbers. There's Kubik. That's not a 6-foot outside blocker.
My goodness, it is a block party.
21 stuffs. We are efforting to see what the all-time record is. Sydney Hilly coming out of the timeout. Nebraska trailing 2-1. Wisconsin, 4th time in the national championship match, looking for their first title. Nebraska looking for their 6th. Krause looking to go high, flat, missed it out of bounds. What happened in the timeout, Christine?
Over on Nebraska's side, Coach Cook basically looked at his team and told them to stop hitting into the block, get a good pass so that they can try to split the blockers, and if they have 2 blockers up, break fingers, hit off of the block.
And we might have had exactly that. The ball was called out of bounds off Lindsey Krause, but Coach Cook and his staff thought that there was a touch off the top of the block, and that would be it. That is the last challenge through 4 sets anyway for Nebraska.
Well, that's exactly what you said, Christine. Looking for those high hands. They've gotten blocked a couple of times, and I think I'm seeing those fingers move back there on Orgel. That right
Oh yeah,
hand.
there you go. That's great work. Great work in the truck. There you see it. Break fingers.
Yeah, I mean.
So this is going to be reversed. It'll be a 2-point switch. The call was out of bounds. And there was indeed a touch. Good high flat swing by Lindsey Krause.
And let's talk about executing what was said out of a timeout. As a freshman coming in, has to move her shot around, has to change what she's doing, and did exactly what her coach told her to do.
Yep. 1 challenge remaining for Wisconsin. If we go 5, each team will get an additional challenge. Hames with 19 digs. Akana with 17. Oh, Schmreck unloading out of the middle. That looks like a rewind from Thursday night.
Good ball by Barnes. Again, that up and down ball to the middle of the court. Leading her setter, getting her in the perfect position to set the middle ball.
Well, you just see how quick. Back to the story Christine told about all the dance classes and everything. Magnificent feet. Saved by Orgel. Good read off the block deflection. Hames with the first touch. Krause again, number 22 in red. A couple of wonderful swings for the freshman.
Well, this play, we can't let it go without seeing the save by Orgel. But the finish, of course, by Krause is what got it done. A smart play to get it on Hames and another out of system set inside the block instead of going right into the belly of it.
And Rodriguez doing very good work as the bro, taking that ball overhand, which you can do legally behind the 3-meter line. Oh, nice tip against direction. Hames was drifting underneath the block.
That was crafty. That was slick. What a soft touch. A beautiful play by Anna Schreck.
Yeah, really, really smart play because Hames did the right thing. The ball finds the floor. Sometimes right on top of your head is the toughest possible place.
That's so hard in the back row. You're trying to scream up, up, up. It's loud in here, and it's hard to track the ball and to find it.
Kubik now 15 kills leading the way for Nebraska. Kayla Caffey with 14. Most of those coming in the first 3 sets. A little bit quiet here so far in the 4th for Caffey. Smrek again, good touch that time by Stivrins. Smart shot up into the block, recycle. Nebraska had multiple chances and did not get a really high quality swing.
It's tough, the missed connection out in that back row attack. Maddie Kubik had to tip it, and that gave Wisconsin that chance to convert.
Here is Jade Demps. Mother played volleyball for Dave Rubio, our old friend out in Arizona. Father played football at Arizona as well. That ball just out of bounds. Nebraska must win this set to stay alive. Looking for their 6th national championship, 14 all.
Lauren Stivrins going to that deep corner. We'll look again for the Lobo to hang in there, but watch some shifting on the side of Wisconsin.
And Stivrins has been available out of the back row. Good serve to start things off. Oh, wow. Stivrins, what a really good swing. That's just a high quality swing by number 21 in white, Loberg.
Recovering again from another tough serve coming her way. Is not stopping her at the net. I'm just really impressed with her ability to keep playing the game when she's not maybe passing well or on the ground.
3 blockers. I think she got a piece of it. That's why Kubik trying to make the dig. Really good swing. Batenhorst heating up just a little bit, and Coach Cook showing an awful lot of confidence in the freshman.
Well, she can do it. We've seen it before, and sometimes it takes her a little bit of time. It takes the rhythm of the set to get to her the perfect ball that she needs, and then she can find ways to score.
Clock's ticking, Salima.
I know.
Demps out of the back row. Hames wasn't ready. The ball changed direction.
That's a tough one. Back on defense, still moving just a little bit, but Demps has been just so good out of the back row. We keep talking about it. 10 kills right now for Jade Demps.
20 swings, almost all, not all,
yeah.
Almost all out of the back row. She did stay up front for Smrek a couple of times. Ashburn with 4 aces so far on the championship. I shouldn't say that, on the match tonight.
Again, one of the toughest servers serving against a 2-person serve receive. This is very difficult.
Tight pass. That is a missed opportunity for Wisconsin.
But what a get by Maddie Kubik on that serve. She was in the middle of the court passing. Wow, I'm very impressed with that. And like you said, yeah, missed opportunity on the side of Wisconsin.
16 all. Hitting percentages in this set. Wisconsin with a big advantage, 318, 192 for Nebraska. Knuckles had an ace last time through. Remember the jump floater right past Chavita? What a pass by Orzel. And off the edge of the block. Jade Demps again. What an X factor she has been in this championship.
Moving her around. Again, watch Robinson stay in front. That opens up, again, that back row attack on the right side of the court for Demps. Got to keep an eye on that as blockers, and it really starts with the middle. Track the middle, then you know where Demps is.
Caffey blocked just out of bounds. The Wisconsin block zoning in now on Kayla Caffey. She was almost unstoppable through the first 2.5 sets.
It was there, though, on a perfect pass. They're sending two with her really getting on right around in front of her, but a nice job tooling.
21 blocks for Wisconsin are a season high. Schmreck misses it out of bounds.
Nebraska serving that short ball again right into where Anna Schreck and Deb Robinson are. They've kept the ball over there, trying to take some chances, and those numbers would suggest that they can't side out.
More on that blocking number for Wisconsin in just a moment. Not there. Sydney Hilly tried to get really aggressive and paid the price. Timeout called by Wisconsin. We'll step aside. Must win still for Nebraska. The chance to call yourselves a champion. That's what's at stake right now for Nebraska. Their storied program. It would be their 6th, as good as Wisconsin has been over the last many years. Still looking for their first. Back row, no, they're going to Krause. Knuckles wanted that on the pipe.
She's always ready.
Blocked by Nebraska, and now their largest lead of the 4th.
Some big plays right now. Rodriguez still at the service line. You know where it's going, that half of the court. She's been working short and deep. Let's see if she drops it in this time.
Stuff not down yet. That's going to be a lift call. The ball was covered, but the follow-up attempt was clearly a lift.
Block in the right position. Following Robinson on that slide.
Wisconsin's got to take a timeout. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. 21-17. Nebraska trailing 2 sets to 1. Dropped the second 31-29. Dropped the third 25-23. I won't say dropped.
Right.
Wisconsin won those sets.
Right.
They were both played superbly. But now Nebraska trying to stay alive. Moments ago, I mean, can you get ahead of yourself a little bit? Can you think one more set win and we've got our first title?
Well, I mean, it's easy to do, especially when you're rolling, but I think when they're right now, on what Coach Sheffield has done all year, has done a fantastic job of keeping his team calm and not really cracking under pressure. And I think right now he knows that he has to keep that demeanor, because that carries over to his team. They just need to pass the ball well, perfectly up and down to Sydney Hilly, to see if they can get some offense going and not get caught up and jammed up over there on the left side of the court with Schreck and Robinson.
One last note about the 21 blocks for Wisconsin. Since the 25-point era came in, started in 2008, Wisconsin has the most blocks for a team in a national championship match. The previous high was 15 by UCLA. They've already got 21. And we may have a while to go. What a good job serving by Rodriguez. Good response. Must have by Schmreck and Wisconsin out of the timeout.
And I love that they changed what they were doing offensively. They just ran a double quick. Instead of trying to send somebody behind, that's where it gets clogged up a little bit. Both of them on a 1 and a 3, and you can set somebody.
Now the big break. Huge break for Nebraska. Three points away from a 15-point tiebreaker for the championship. Akana's been the best server on the floor all night long for Nebraska. Well handled here. Yeah, that's just too good. Stivrins was there. She just shakes her head and go, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Yep.
Get your hands up, try to slow it down a little bit.
Really good offense by Wisconsin. Wow, Maddie Kubik. Best swing of the night.
Oh my goodness. Just when you think she's got to go high and flat off of that big block, cuts this ball. Watch her move as she comes straight in and then cuts that ball sharp inside the block. Oh wow, that is a beautiful shot.
Ball a little bit low. Akana got a piece of that. Batenhorst, tough chance. Trying to throw that ball up into the block. Tough chance.
Yeah, nowhere to go. Trying to do something with it, but Nebraska still in control here.
Sydney Hilly is up front. Watch for the tip on 2 in a long rally. She uses it very sparingly. Here's Demps. Wow, another service error. One by Orzel and now by Demps. Set points for Nebraska.
Well, it's tough. The pressure is on. I mean, this is what it's all about. This is a national championship.
Off the edge of the block. Nice smart play by Lober. One set point saved.
Couple missed serves in a row. We'll hope your server can go back there and keep their composure.
Well, remember in the second set, Nebraska had 4 set points before they dropped that. Orzel. Through the block and down. Another set point saved.
She gets that nice rattle. She's gotten better at getting her feet inside the court and turning it a little bit, finding some space.
Yeah, I thought Coach Cook was thinking about it. Do I go one more? Well, you can't take them with you. With your back against the wall, must-win situation. Timeout called by Nebraska. Nebraska is out of timeouts, out of challenges. Should something come up, Wisconsin still has 1 challenge remaining. Remember, if we go 5, each team will get an additional challenge. Take us first inside Wisconsin, and then we'll talk about Nebraska.
Well, you're talking defensively now, what they're going to do in this rotation. So they're going to have either a block scheme or where they want to put their primary focus on the attackers. So that's the first thing you're talking about. Not really talking to Loberg, except where we want you to serve the ball. Don't want to get in her head at all. I mean, this is a tough situation in a timeout at set point for Nebraska.
And don't miss.
Oh, I mean, that's...
Yeah, I mean, look, Nebraska has earned their set point possibility, but Orzel serves out of bounds, and I think that Jade Demps was the other.
That's correct.
And that was a big pressure release. We'll see Nebraska coming out. I'm trying to remember the rotation that they're in, and I want to see the hitters that are available.
I'll let you know as soon as they roll out there. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Got a pass first. The first time these two teams played for the national championship was in 2000. How many sets did it go? Come on now, Lima. 5.
5.
Went 5.
It went 5. It went 5. Everyone, it went 5. So you got Caffey. You got Caffey in the front row. I'm setting Caffey or Kubik out of the back row.
Set point number 3. Over the block that time by Dana Rettke.
The block touch was everything on that play. Knowing Kayla Caffey was going to get that ball, slowed down, transition for a point. They're going to pass with 2 here and pull Akana out of the passing pattern.
4th set point. Tight. No call. Akana, what a play. I think I know what I just saw, but I'm not sure. Unbelievable effort and saves across the dial. And then Allie Batenhorst somehow found a seam and a piece of the floor here in Columbus. Tied at 2 sets apiece. Tiebreaker to 15 to decide the national championship. And the question is, who will now make all the right moves in the 5th and final set? Keonale Akana has been serving BBs, digging balls off the deflection and tracking that one down and giving Nebraska new hope. They were a must-win situation in that 4th set, but what a match. 25-22 in the first, 31-29 in the second, 25-23 in the third, and then Nebraska 25-23. And it took them 4 set points to finally close that out. Quickly saw the records in 5-set matches. This is the first 5-set match between these 2 teams this year. To 15 points for the championship. Strikes first, Anna Smrek off the nice saving set. That time by Sydney Hilly. Let's go over the sideline to Christina for the huddle.
Over on Wisconsin's side, they looked at each other and they said, this is where we thrive. We do not leave anything on the court. Now, over on Nebraska's side, Lindsey Krause was actually the most interesting part to me. She was on the ground, she was really quiet, and then she got up and she just said, I gotta pee. So hopefully they get this match over quickly so she can go to the restroom.
I think she's got a lot of company, but nobody's going anywhere. Wow, the lines person called a touch.
On the far side,
wow.
not the near side.
That's the 2nd time Patty Rolfe overruled. Thank you, Christine. Wow.
John Cook is up, the entire coaching staff on the sideline here.
See, this is where I think that Coach Cook has every right to ask that lines official to come over and confer with the first referee. We had that on the other side previously.
We did.
It was a long conversation.
But that was a miss, and that was the right call.
Patty Rolfe with the overrule. And you saw that as the correct overrule. (3-0) Wisconsin.
That's tough. That's exactly where they want to go with the ball. Get it, lay it in there to Cappy. Has been successful. Check out their body language right now and see if Nebraska can get something going.
Go right back to it off the perfect pass. No, block deflection. Krause is doing a really good job blocking on the left side.
Really working hard, getting some good touches.
As is Wisconsin. Rettke down the line. Nebraska's got to call a timeout.
We talked about Dana Rettke at the end of plays. When the moment counts, when it's on the line, give the ball to Dana Rettke. But those block touches for Wisconsin now have been key.
See, Rettke goes one way, and then Jay Demps.
That's it, opens it up.
We showed it about the chess match before all of this began. Dana Rettke only hit 200 in the semifinal, but it opened things up for everybody else. Smrek, and then this time Demps.
And Rettke does not care. You talk to her, she's the most team player. If I'm not getting the ball, if I can open things up for everybody else, so be it. Let them score.
The 6'8" grad student back for a 5th year out of Riverside, Illinois, the National Player of the Year. As a career, she hits .423. That puts her in the top 7. And in the same conversation with Haley Washington and Feluca Akinradwo. And they were pretty good this summer when those two won a gold medal in Tokyo.
Yeah, they were all right.
And maybe that's what's in store for Dana Rettke. Remember when we spoke with her teammate and roommate for the last 4 years, I said, you want to play in the Olympics? I'm talking about Sydney Hilly. You want to play in the Olympics? Yeah, with Dana Rettke. It's a distinct possibility. That's how good they are.
Absolutely it is. Nebraska coming back on the floor. Just needs to settle down here. They look a little bit on their heels. A little bit tense in those first couple of points. Loosening up a little bit will help them just kind of play a little freer.
Hey, pass first, side out, it's 4-1. Get a block and score, it's 4-2, and you're right back in it. But you need to do something right now. You need to get on the board right now.
Gotta get it going quick.
Blocked by Rettke.
Rettke took the other angle. Cappy came in straight ahead. Let's watch Dana Rettke. She comes in and drops back straight ahead instead of going all the way, and she dives into the other angle. Just stays home, reads it perfectly.
12 blocks for Rettke. 12? Are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
That ball tucked down inside. Wisconsin's rolling.
All the momentum right now. And it's Dana Rettke taking over.
Timeout, Nebraska. Story from very early on, the record-setting performance in the blocking phase by the Badgers.
Well, it's just so impressive. You watch all the block touches on both sides of the court, but really to get the stuff blocks, you have to be in the right position. You have to be over the net, controlled hands, and reading where the attackers are coming. And that's what has been so impressive with what Wisconsin's doing right now at the net.
Now for tonight's top performer, brought to you by Buick. It is the 22 blocks, the most ever in a national championship. And of course, Rettke, deservedly so, is going to get the headline. She's got the most numbers. But I think that Orzul blocked her position very, very well.
Very well. I mean, she's blocked a couple of slides, a couple of high balls behind as well in a very solid, strong position. The scout has been fantastic for Wisconsin in the blocking phase.
Nebraska has taken 8 swings. They have 3 errors, no kills. 3 of 5 right now for Wisconsin. The 4th time Wisconsin has faced the opportunity to win their first national championship. The premiere came against these same Nebraska Cornhuskers in 2000. Then against your alma mater, the Lions in 2013, lost that in Kelly Sheffield's first year, and then lost to Catherine Plummer and Stanford in 2019. Krause. Everything going Wisconsin's way.
But the serve, Demps dropping that one in short on the right side of the court, forced the ball to come to the outside. That higher ball to Krause on the left, and now they're going to stack, move their hitters over here on the left side of the court. Someone's going to have to hit a 2-ball.
You know, that was a good swing by Krause.
It was.
It was a good swing. Overpass. Batenhorst, good swing. Oh, maybe going out of bounds, but Batenhorst stayed with it. And it took a while, but Nebraska is on the board.
You can chip away. If you're Nebraska, their strength has been from the service line. Knuckles has been one of those key servers. Could go on a run here. She really works that back corner of the court between Loberg and Orschel.
Off the block and out of bounds. Another kill for Retke. Retke now with 9 kills.
Dana Retke is going to get a lot of sets while she's up there. They've been moving the ball around, and she's clutch towards the end.
Retke hits 436. The odds are on your side.
Wow, odds are on your side.
History has proven. Oh, what a dig by Rodriguez. Can Nebraska put a ball away? Right back at you by Barnes. Not yet. Orzel looking for the touch. None called, none detected. Ball out of bounds. Rodriguez, magnificent in the left back.
She's so good. She sees the game so well. Just reading everything in the left back. Keeping her alive. Trying to get her team back in it right now.
81 digs for Rodriguez in Nebraska. 71 for Barnes in Wisconsin. Orzel chopping line. And an unfortunate unforced error for Kubik. (9-2) is the lead. 15-point tiebreaker for the national championship. One at a time, and if you're Wisconsin, you'll take a gift like that. Akana has been the best server. She can go on a roll, and Nebraska needs it. Demps again, missed it out of bounds. Keyed by the defense in the backcourt of Knuckles and Akana. Just refusing to let the ball get on the ground.
Right next to one another, bumping into each other on the first swing by Demps. And going back to Demps there because she's been so good out of the back row, but made an unforced error. That's a rare deep miss just out of the court.
Out of bounds. This is Akana. These serves are so consistent and so tough. And Kelly Sheffield's going to call a timeout. Trying to settle his freshman out of Poland. Last year, Wisconsin fell to Texas in the national semifinals. The year before that, they were in the championship match against Catherine Plummer and Stanford.
Well, Nebraska's going to continue to serve this ball straight at Orzel, try to get her on the ground or pull that ball off the net a little bit. She's been struggling a little bit right here in this rotation, but when that ball comes to her, the key is being smart with her swings, actually finding those hands. She tried to hit that one off the hands and missed.
Akana again has been the ace numbers don't tell the story, but just look at this movement. Look at that. Look at that. I want no part of that.
It drops so steep right off the tape. There's the looks. Wanted the tool, but man, Akana has gone on runs before. has got them back into this. And it's never over until it's over.
Still with a 9-5 advantage after going up 7-0 in this 15-point tiebreaker for the NCAA championship. But one more point, now there has to be a little bit of pressure on the side of the Badgers. The two Europeans, Civita from Milan, Italy, and Orzel. Orzel has been made to feel so welcome and such an important part of this team. The entire team went to meet her at the airport when she flew in from Warsaw. Akana out of the timeout. Kubik missed it out of bounds. Tough chance, but you cannot hit that ball out. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, easier said than done. That was coming from way off the court. Kubik tried to just roll shot it and keep it in play and hit it out.
Barnes with the dig. Not up. Not over, I should say, yet. What a play by Akana. And out of bounds. Once again, Keonale Akana will just not let the ball hit the floor, number 6 in red.
She does so much for that team. And the right back, keeping it off the floor, reading so well off the block.
23 digs, playing part-time.
There's that pancake. Seeing it, getting underneath it.
Yeah, that ball was definitely up. Nebraska is out of timeouts. Wisconsin has burned 1. The additional challenge in the 5th set, 2 in the column for Wisconsin. Are they? And they're challenging whether or not that ball was up. It was very close. Thus the challenge.
All right, we'll take a look at it. If any part of this ball hits the floor, it's down. So we'll see if we can get a good look as she sprawls out.
Right now, the point in the column of Nebraska, they still trail at 10-6. What'd you think, Salima?
I thought it was up, but there was someone in the way, so let's take a look. Yeah.
No, that ball's
That's up.
Yeah, that's almost up by the black on her
That's
sleeve.
pretty far. But again, another opportunity to slow things down a little bit.
Speaking with head coach John Cook at this morning's serve and pass, he reminded me that these two teams played for the 3rd time in Madison in the regional finals. So playing once again, they know one another, they respect one another. The problem is they both want the same thing and want it very, very much.
Here we are in the 5th. So many crucial calls down the wire.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. The defensive play is confirmed by Akana. Now Kubik, would you describe it as being inconsistent at the service line so far on the night?
Well, it's been odd, but every time there's a challenge, she seems to be going back to serve.
You're right.
So
I hadn't thought about that.
that was a couple times, and maybe even out of one timeout. So I think that's part of the inconsistency. But she's a very good server.
Must be in. Must be in. Have to keep service pressure on Wisconsin if you're the Cornhuskers. Good block touch. Stivrins on the slide. Slide again. Big swing for Batenhorst. Through the block and down.
Couple of big swings from Allie Batenhorst here late in the match. This is another one. Really changing that body language, going hard, challenging the block, high and flat.
Same for Kubik. Same pressure on the server. Out of the back row, and it's blocked. Wow. That's the second block over the coverage of Nebraska that's found the floor.
And you watch their hands. Her hands are just straight up and flat. And that's aiming, that's getting that ball to deflect deep in the court. I'm not saying that's intentional, but that's why that happened.
Big play, huge play. Stivrins right back. 11-8.
Love that delivery. When Haynes turns and faces and gives her that ball, I think it's their cleanest set and cleanest connection.
And the sixth-year senior playing her last match for Nebraska has been serving tough, particularly the last 3 rounds. Nebraska going to get a, oh, look at that, Loberg through the seam.
One more time, Grace Loberg. She celebrates. And watch when she finishes. Oh, there was the hands that pulled down just a little bit, and she got that room.
Wisconsin 3 points away from their first title. Kubik, smart shot off speed. Not yet. Boy, the toughness of both of these teams. Nebraska trailed 7-0 in the 5th.
Just staying in it. And we talked about this before. We've seen this all season long where teams are just able to come back and keep staying patient, staying in it.
Off the edge of the block and down. Dana Rettke again.
Big play and a nice long set by Sydney Hilly, trying to find a way to move the ball around a little bit even when the set's not perfect. The pass isn't perfect.
Hilly and Rettke have been doing that for 5 years. Maybe, just maybe, it will get them to a national championship. Short serve. Wisconsin 1 point away. They have been knocking on the proverbial door since Dana Rettke and Sydney Hilly had all arrived, among many others helping to build this program. Match point. Krause rattles that one through and down.
Finding a way to side out. They have 4 opportunities to tie it up here. Not easy, but with Knuckles at the line, chance is better.
On the good pass, if this ball goes anywhere but to Dana Rettke, I would be shocked.
They're going to send 2 blockers with her. They have to.
Championship point number 2. Kubik inside the block and down. And they went to Demps.
They sure did. The entire arena thought it was going to Rettke.
Timeout called by Wisconsin. The match between Wisconsin and Louisville was played at such a high level, as was the second semifinal between Nebraska and Pitt. But this one is very, very memorable.
Back and forth. I mean, Nebraska came out so strong, just like they did against them the last time they played in the regular season. But going 5 here in the championship with all of these people in the building and a full packed house here in Columbus, there's nothing quite like it.
What's Kelly Sheffield saying over on the Wisconsin side?
You know, I really think he had a timeout. That was time to pull off the server. You want to be patient with what we're doing with the ball and continue to stay with our game plan. I mean, that's it. We have time. Be patient with what we're doing, and don't play outside of yourselves. Don't get ahead of yourself. It's 1 point at a time, and the 1 point wins it.
6 players on this Wisconsin team back from that also got to the finals before losing. Lauren Barnes, Sydney Hilly, Dana Rettke, of course, Grace Loberg, Danielle Harp, and Izzy Ashburn. 1 point away from Wisconsin's first ever national championship. Should I say it again? If this ball goes any place but on the good pass, mind you. And Nebraska knows it. Must have for Nebraska. Caffey again, right side to Krause. Kubik. Out of bounds. We're going to have a challenge. Remember, each team gets an additional challenge in the 5th set. You have to challenge this. Of course you do.
You've got one, so.
Well, and remember, Salima, with the change in how this is administered, you're looking at touch, you're looking at net violation, and you're looking at ball in or out as a bundle. So the official's going to look at all of that.
Right. Even
though the challenge was specifically for touch off the ball.
Correct. So we will see. I didn't quite see one there. We'll see if we see it at a different angle. Dana Rettke's right hand. I didn't see the fingers move there.
Wow.
See something? Let's see if we can see it again. And is that finger moving back a little bit?
It does look like that to me, but the officials are going to look at this. It's a national championship.
No, here's the problem. That's her left hand. No, I think that's her left hand that we're seeing. And it looks like her finger was moving. Does that make sense?
I just don't want to be an official ever.
No, me neither.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we shall see. We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
If the call stands, Wisconsin has won their first national championship. If not, Nebraska lives for another point. Touch. Wow. Wow. Dana Rettke and Sydney Hilly were saying no way. So 14-12.
Wow.
Do you love the challenge system or what?
My goodness.
If it didn't exist, the celebration would be on. Now let's reset. Knuckles has had to wait a long time.
It is a long time.
This is the 4th championship point.
And now, Paul, I think your statement's right. Because that was on Dana Rettke. I'm thinking it's going to her, although we've been wrong the last couple of times.
You know, let's not overthink this thing. One of the best players in college volleyball in the last 25 years. Day in, day out. 14-12. What pressure on Knuckles. She's been waiting a long time. To Rettke, not yet. Nobody up. You knew it was coming. And Dana Rettke with championship point. on Wisconsin. At an E. 1 for Wisconsin.
The match we all knew, and the disbelief in Dana Recki's face right now, looking at the championship trophy. What a season by Nebraska. Really changing the trajectory of their entire season, coming back and playing in this match. But Wisconsin proved they were the #1 team in the country tonight. Finished with that exclamation point by Dana Recki.
By the thinnest of margins, 4 championship points. And Recki finally